Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Simultaneous Time Travel. Sharing Talents from Jackie Chan Adventures. Chapter 81. When the Holy Master began to release the magic that could affect the surrounding environment, Link, Valone and others quietly came to the vicinity of the palace. Rasu. Boss, is this guy the Holy Lord destroying the environment? Joe. Those guys from the Environmental Protection Association should arrest him. Ah Fen. Shouldn't we cooperate with the Holy Lord? Looking at the hell-like sky, the faces of the Lasso trio were filled with shock. Don't worry, this is not our problem. Even if we don't resurrect the Holy Lord will be resurrected in the new year. As for its magic, this is a kind of magic that semi-permanently transforms the environment. As long as the Holy Lord does not die, this magic will not be lifted. Quote. Link explained calmly. We don't have to rush and now. There is the magic of the Holy Lord in the palace, and you will be sensed by it when you enter. First, let the protagonist group supported by righteousness test the quality of the Holy Lord. Quote. Another little bug is here. Is this Breath Chen Long and his dad? The moment Dad, Chen Long and their group walked into the palace, the Holy Master sensed each other immediately. Devil, your goal of ruling the world will definitely fail. Chen Long took the lead and stood at the front. At this moment, his hand was glowing with a strange green light. Behind him was his father in white robes and the agents of District 13. This outfit, this posture. No, could it be that you got the magic from Lope? Seeing the costumes worn by his father and the agents from Area 13, the Holy Master's eyes flashed with panic. The painful memories that had been buried deep in my heart kept emerging. It once ruled the whole of Asia and was arrogant. But one day, Lope came to the door wearing such a set of clothes and brought a group of righteous magicians. At the beginning, the Holy Master didn't take guys like Lope to heart. After all, since the immortal god left the earth, it has never encountered anyone who can fight with it. However, what follows is the beginning of its nightmare. As Lope positioned himself in formation and chanted the spell, a ray of white light fell on it, eventually turning its noble dragon body into a stone statue. This change lasted 900 years. We must not let this old man use that magic. The Holy Lord's eyes burned with fierce flames. It doesn't want to be tied to a statue for another 900 years. The moment the thought flashed through his mind, the Holy Lord's body started to move. With the rabbit talisman flashing in his body, the Holy Lord's speed was so fast that most people couldn't see it clearly. We must not let him perform that magic. The Holy Lord roared and rushed forward with murderous intent, wanting to tear his father into pieces. It was at this moment that the righteousness between heaven and earth began to converge on Chen Long and Dad respectively. Sorry, Holy Lord, your opponent should be me. Chen Long also roared. Although he could not clearly see the movements of the Holy Lord under the blessing of the rabbit talisman, he knew how to predict the movements of the Holy Lord after practicing martial arts for many years. As Chen Long jumped, he actually jumped onto the Holy Lord. Then he inserted his hands into the Holy Lord's back and started groping. Let me go, Chen Long. The Holy Master gave Chen Long a hard shake and threw him away. The moment he threw Chen Long away, the Holy Master suddenly realized that the power of the sheep and dragon in his body had been inexplicably deprived of him. No, my power is gone and 2 charms have been taken away from me. It looked at Chen Long's hand again, and what he held in his hand was its talisman. Since we all know that the Holy Lord is going to be resurrected, we naturally need to make 2 preparations. Seeing Chen Long's success, his father snorted coldly and immediately summoned the agents from District 13 to start using the magic to seal the Holy Lord. Despicable guy. There are so many people fighting against me. Can't you have a fair fight with me? The Holy Lord said through gritted teeth. Then it directly used the power of the chicken charm to fly into the air, and then released its laser eyes at Dad and others. Fortunately, Dad and his team were well prepared for the Holy Lord's attack. A green barrier appeared out of thin air to resist the Holy Lord's first round of attack. But this green barrier obviously did not have unlimited defense. Under the continuous attack of the Holy Lord's laser eyes, cracks gradually appeared on the barrier. Chen Long, hurry up and find a way to stop the Holy Master from continuing to attack Dad. The father inside the barrier shouted to Chen Long. Now he not only has to maintain the magic ritual of sealing the Holy Lord's magic, but also needs to concentrate on mobilizing mana to maintain this protective barrier. Even though he is one of the top mage in the righteousness camp and is strengthened by righteousness at this moment, it is still too difficult and cannot be maintained for long. Ah, but Daddy, the Holy Lord has flown into the air. How can I seize the talisman? Looking at the Holy Lord who had already flown into the air, Qianlong looked anxious. The potion given to him by his father can only separate the spell by touching the entity of the Holy Lord. But now that the Holy Lord has flown into the air, he doesn't know what to do. Uncle Long, look at the talisman in your hand. Just when Qianlong didn't know what to do, Xiao Yu reminded him from the side. At this moment, Qianlong suddenly remembered that he still held 2 talismans in his hand, so he quickly took a look. Sheep charm, the soul is out of body, it's useless. Wait a minute, this is the dragon talisman. After seeing the appearance of the talisman in his hand clearly, Qianlong was immediately delighted, and then he quickly raised the talisman and fired it at the Holy Lord in the sky. Boom! A terrifying flame shot out from Qianlong's hand and hit the Holy Lord's chest. Ah! Accompanied by the Holy Lord's scream, its body fell heavily, directly collapsing a corner of the palace. When it stood up again, a big hole suddenly appeared in its chest. Great! Seeing that the Holy Lord was seriously injured, Dad, Sheriff Blake and others immediately smiled happily. But soon, with the flash of the horse talisman in the Holy Lord's body, the big hole that seemed fatal recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. You can't hurt me, the horse talisman can keep me safe. The Holy Lord snorted coldly. Although he said so, he had a vague premonition in his heart. The other party was extremely well prepared. Not only does it have the magic that Lope used to seal it, but it also has the ability in Qianlong's hand to take out the talisman directly from its body. If it really drags it until the moment when the magic is completed, then my resurrection will really be over. How can this be? I have just been resurrected. The Holy Lord gritted his teeth, and he absolutely did not want to turn into that stone statue again. We must take back the dragon talisman first, so that we don't need to worry about Qianlong interfering with me when we fly into the air to attack the barrier. The Holy Lord's brain was working rapidly. The next moment, the power of the snake talisman emerged, and his body disappeared from the spot. Ah, invisible! Seeing the Holy Lord disappear, Qianlong immediately observed the surroundings. However, his body was kicked away. The Holy Lord appeared again, and the dragon talisman in his hand slowly returned to his body. You all have to die today. The Holy Lord roared, and immediately released a dragon blast towards Qianlong. It's over. Looking at the fireball in front of him that was taller than a person, Qianlong closed his eyes in despair. Boom! At this moment, another flame fell on the Holy Lord's dragon blast and detonated it in advance. The Holy Lord, who was quite confident just now, was injured by the dragon blast that detonated in advance, and suddenly flew out and smashed a deep pit. Qianlong opened his eyes suddenly, and saw a man with bandages wrapped around his eyes and arms appeared in front of him. Mr. Danzo, you are here. Mr. Danzo, I knew you would come. Seeing Danzo appear in front of him, Qianlong's eyes flashed with surprise. He knew that Danzo was the partner of justice. Before Qianlong could be happy for too long, an angry roar soon interrupted Qianlong's next words. Ah, you brat, you are indeed here. With endless flames spurting out, the Holy Lord once again appeared in front of everyone intact. Sure enough, the Holy Lord with the horse talisman and the dog talisman cannot be defeated by conventional means. Link, who was suspended in midair, looked at the Holy Lord, his expression extremely calm. It stands to reason that the blow just now was twice as powerful as the dragon blast. If it had been an ordinary evil dragon, it would have died long ago. But the Holy Master was able to stand up again with the help of the dog charm's immortality and the horse charm's recovery. For such a result, Link did not feel the slightest surprise. After all, even the once prosperous Saint Lope may not be able to defeat the Holy Lord head-on. Only the legendary immortal gods can possibly stabilize the Holy Lord. You brat, I'll make you pay for your betrayal. The Holy Lord climbed up from the pit, and there was a trace of cruelty in its eyes when it looked at Link. Betrayal, Master Holy Master, didn't you betray me first? If I hadn't used a fake body, I might have died in your hands, right? Link smiled disdainfully. He just betrayed the Holy Lord before the Holy Lord betrayed him. Not much to say. The next moment, Link took out a sword from his body. The sword was made by Link using the dragon tooth given by the Holy Lord behind him, along with some evil dragon minions and a bunch of black magic from the Encyclopedia of Black Magic to create a magical weapon specifically designed to restrain the Holy Lord. Although the righteous wizards are better at targeting, this does not mean that the black wizards will not target. Especially since this thing is a material given by the Holy Lord himself, it will definitely be easier to deal with the Holy Lord. You continue to cast spells, I will hold him back. After Link finished speaking to his father, he held the sword in hand, a shadow of a rabbit flashed in his eyes, and rushed towards the Holy Master at extremely fast speeds. Good disciple, do you want to use my master's power to deal with my master? Seeing Link charging towards him, the Holy Master snorted coldly and was about to attack him in the same way. Unexpectedly, Qianlong suddenly took action. He seized the opportunity when the Holy Lord wanted to attack Link and focused all his attention on Link. He jumped on the Holy Lord again and dug hard. This time it's a rabbit and a cow. Looking at the talisman in his hand, Qianlong immediately gave a hint to Link. Understood. Master, Holy Master, you have lost the rabbit, I want to see how you respond to my offensive. Link smiled slightly, holding the sword in his hand and constantly using extreme speed magic to move quickly, tearing open wounds on the Holy Lord's body. And every time when the Holy Lord wanted to counterattack, he would use extreme speed magic to dodge. The Holy Lord, who had the rabbit talisman taken away by Qianlong, was no longer as fast as Link and could not touch him at all. At the same time, the magic weapon made by Link using its body materials also caused great pain to it. It is true that its horse charm and dog charm are still in its body, so Link's attacks cannot harm him at all. But the pain and humiliation of the sword scratching its muscles still made the Holy Master feel extremely angry. What's more important is that the material used to make this sword to restrain himself was given to Link. This feeling of betrayal made the Holy Master even more angry. You brat, I'll make you pay the price you deserve. Dragon Blast. The Holy Lord fired several bursts of flames at Link. Link, however, still looked calm, still using extremely fast magic to pull back and forth, constantly tearing apart the hands, legs and muscles of the Holy Master. Master, Holy Lord, you can't even touch my body, so how can you make me pay the price? Besides, it seems that the magic on my father's side is about to be condensed and completed, right? Link said calmly. His speed is sometimes fast, sometimes slow, changing as he pleases. It has suddenly reached an extremely advanced level in the second level of speed magic. And such a change in speed made it impossible for the Holy Master to figure out its true speed. This allowed Link to avoid the Holy Lord's attacks accurately every time. Perhaps the Holy Lord's upper limit in spell magic far exceeds his, but the Holy Lord's proficiency in magic may not be his opponent. Link, you forced me to do this. Sensing the magic that his father was about to complete, the Holy Master felt a strong sense of uneasiness. If this continues, it will have to be sealed. Now it has to use the last resort. As one of the 8 great demons, it is going to overturn the table with the Bagua Fire Li. Traitors, destroy them all. The Holy Lord raised his head, and the black air between heaven and earth seemed to sense something, and poured into its body like it was rushing to reincarnate. As the aura of the Holy Lord surged, it seemed that the surrounding environment began to become hotter. Flames seemed to appear in the sky, turning the entire Hong Kong into purgatory. What's going on? The power of the Holy Lord seems to have become stronger. Qianlong on the side looked at the Holy Master in shock. From the beginning, the already stressful aura of the Holy Lord became even more terrifying. Even a battle-hardened master like him was affected by this terrifying aura and even began to tremble uncontrollably. It seems that the black energy is about to start its last fight. But the magic to seal the Holy Lord is about to be completed. The old man looked at the situation in front of him anxiously and continued to chant the spell quickly. Demons and ghosts, leave quickly. Demons and ghosts, leave quickly. As the magic ritual between him and the 13th district agent gradually improved, a terrifying green light ball began to condense gradually. No, don't come over. Seeing the green light ball condensing in front of the old man, a trace of fear flashed in the eyes of the Holy Lord, and he immediately called the sky-high flames to blast towards the old man. But the next moment, Link also condensed a large amount of flames to resist the offensive of the Holy Lord. The magic has been activated. As the green light ball was completed, the old man in the white robe showed a relaxed smile. The next moment, the green light ball turned into a beam of light and accurately shot the Holy Lord. No, I don't want to become a statue anymore. The Lord's red eyes were filled with hatred. He wanted to release the terrifying power in his body to stop his transformation, but he was powerless. With green flashes, his body gradually became stiff, and his originally huge body shrank back into a stone statue. Plop! The Lord's stone body fell to the ground and turned several circles. And the 9 talismans were also stripped from the Lord's body and scattered all over the ground. We won. Looking at the Holy Lord who turned into a statue after being hit by magic, the agents of District 13 cheered in victory. After completing such a difficult task, they will have no problem getting promoted and getting a raise in the future. Of course, the premise is that their superiors believe that there are real demons in the world. Link, Lopez, Chen Long, Dad, I am not afraid even if I have to wait another 900 years, I will definitely come back for revenge. Unlike the cheers of the agents, the eyes of the Holy Lord who had turned into a statue again flickered, and he looked completely broken. It has just been resurrected for most of the day, and it has not been free to move around for a long time, enjoying the good times in the world. As a result, it was turned into a statue again by Dad with a magic and lay on the cold ground. Who can bear this? If it had not seen the light of freedom, it would not be so desperate now. But now it has seen the beauty of freedom, but it has not been beautiful for long, and it has returned to despair again. Therefore, the Holy Lord could not help but leave a declaration of revenge. Link, are you Link? Hearing the words of the Holy Lord, Xiao Yu looked at Danzo with a surprised face. To be precise, it was Link disguised as Danzo. She had heard Dad's comments about Danzo before. At the beginning, Dad thought that Danzo was probably a disguised identity, and asked her to see if she could expose the other party's true face during the operation. But in the subsequent operations, she either did not meet Danzo, or chose to leave early because she was worried about Uncle Long's safety. In short, she never had the opportunity to discover Danzo's true face. I never thought that the other party was Link, who had met her once. Another 900 years. Master Holy Lord, you are so patient. Since his identity has been exposed, Link simply stopped hiding, lifted the transformation, and appeared in front of everyone with his true face. The moment they saw Link's appearance, everyone present was surprised. Because from the appearance, the difference between the handsome boy in front of him and the old man who looked powerful and mysterious before is particularly large. Especially the old man's goat eyes were wide open. He never thought that the powerful black wizard Danzo would be a teenager. You know, wizards usually become more powerful as they get older, and only a very few people with very superior talents can transcend time and gain high magical attainments at a young age. Oh, could it be that this boy named Link has a special identity like Xiao Yu? Or is he the reincarnation of a big devil? The old man did not relax his vigilance because Link looked very young. On the contrary, compared with the image of the old Danzo before, the black wizard in the appearance of a teenager now makes the old man feel that he needs to be vigilant. After all, this means that the other party's potential is amazing, and his magical attainments may surpass the strongest black wizard Daolong in the future. Link is not clear about the old man's inner vigilance and distrust of himself. Even if he knew, he would not care. It will happen sooner or later that his identity is exposed. Anyway, it can't be avoided, so just do it casually. Compared to caring about whether his father would attack him, Link still prefers to chat with his good master. After all, he still has one thing to do. Master Shengju, you can't move without mice, and you will die without dogs. Link smiled and walked slowly towards the Holy Lord. The look he gave the Holy Lord revealed a hint of desire. It was a look of desire to take something away from him. You, what do you want to do? Good disciple, I am your master Shengju. Looking at Link who was walking slowly towards him, the Holy Lord, who turned into a stone statue, shouted anxiously. It saw something wrong in Link's eyes. A bad feeling came to his heart. This look means that the Link kid is calculating it again. Master Shengju, how can you misunderstand me like this? I didn't want to do anything, I just thought you were too lonely, so I wanted to find a companion for you and send you back to hell to reunite with your brothers and sisters. Happy New Year, Master Shungju. Link's mouth was still filled with a smile. The next second, a dragon shadow flashed in his eyes. A fierce flame gradually formed on Link's hands. Dragon explosion. Oh, Qianlong, stop him quickly, don't let him kill the Holy Lord. At the moment when Link summoned the flame, Dad saw his action, and his heart suddenly skipped a beat, and he hurriedly shouted to Qianlong anxiously. But his not-so-loud voice was covered by the sound of New Year's firecrackers and fireworks that sounded on time at this moment. Qianlong only heard Dad talking, but couldn't hear what he was saying. Qianlong. What, Dad? The firecrackers are too loud, I can't hear clearly. The Holy Lord roared angrily. Qianlong, can't you be more reliable at this time? The next moment, the flame in Link's hand fell on it. The Holy Lord only felt an indescribable pain coming from all parts of his body. The terrifying cracks filled its whole body. No. As the energy that its body could withstand reached its limit, the Holy Lord let out an unwilling roar. The body of its stone statue completely exploded, and the fragments scattered all over the ground. As the body of the Holy Lord statue exploded, the entire palace began to shake. Bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. Although it was unclear why the palace collapsed as soon as the Holy Lord was gone, Qianlong immediately grasped the rabbit talisman in his hand and used the rabbit's divine power to pick up Xiaoyu, Dad and others and ran out. Uncle Long, don't forget to take the remaining talismans. Xiaoyu reminded him quickly. Uncle Long now only had sheep, rabbits and cows in his hands, and the remaining talismans were scattered on the ground. This kind of extraordinary talisman must not fall into the hands of bad people. Qianlong replied. I know, I will get it after I rescue you all. After rescuing everyone present, Qianlong turned back and wanted to pick up the talisman. But when he used the power of the cow talisman to move all the fragments on the ruins of the palace, he found that the remaining talismans were gone. The remaining talismans are gone. Qianlong first explained the situation to his father, then looked puzzled. Strange, why did Link destroy the statue of the Holy Lord? Does he dislike the Holy Lord so much? As a mortal, he didn't know the meaning of Link's action. Since he couldn't figure it out, he simply didn't think about it. He just walked slowly to the side of his father and Xiaoyu. Anyway, I wish you a happy new year, Xiaoyu, and I wish you good fortune. Qianlong wanted to give Xiaoyu and his father a hug with a smile on his face. But then his father hit him hard on the forehead with a sword finger. Ouch, ouch, Dad, why did you hit me? Qianlong asked with an aggrieved look on his face, covering his slightly red and swollen forehead. Dad, oh, Qianlong, you didn't hear what Dad said. You still let Link destroy the Holy Lord. Isn't it a good thing that the Holy Lord was destroyed by Link? Hearing this, Qianlong looked confused. In his understanding, the Holy Lord is the 8 demons, the supervillain who almost destroyed the world. If this kind of demon is not eliminated, is it possible to bring it home and display it? Link destroyed the evil dragon, and now the world's yin and yang are out of balance. The black energy will allow a more powerful demon to fill the void. But that's not the point. The key point is how much of the black energy possessed by the Holy Lord has been allocated to Link this time. Quote, the moment Link took action, a flash of inspiration seemed to flash through Dad's mind, making him instantly understand Link's purpose. The reason why Lope originally wanted to seal the Holy Lord was by turning him into a stone statue, instead of sending him to hell like an immortal god. It's not because he lacks the ability to send the Holy Lord to hell, but because he wants the Holy Lord to occupy part of the black energy in the world, but he can't do bad things. But because the Holy Lord is still in the state of a stone statue. This is equivalent to it occupying a considerable share of the black energy, and it is unable to act. Now, on the bright side, righteousness and blackness are balanced. But as a stone statue, the Holy Lord occupies a large piece of black energy, which not only prevents other dark creatures from being able to detect the black energy but also prevents him from causing trouble. It's like occupying a latrine and not taking a shit. Lopez's operation made a huge contribution to the subsequent vigorous development of the world. However, now the balance of all this is completely out of balance the moment the stone statue of the Holy Lord is shattered. The part of the black energy that was originally occupied by the Holy Lord was liberated by him. A small part of it should be directly divided by some contemporary black energy wizards, and the remaining part will allow more powerful demons to be reborn. If my guess is correct, the reason why the black energy wizard named Link helps us is to peek into the black energy occupied by the Holy Lord. Dad sighed, then turned to Qianlong and said, "You need to make it clear to Xiaoyu's parents. You must let Xiaoyu continue to learn magic with Dad. Dad, I made an agreement with Xiaoyu's parents that she will only stay in our house for 1 year." Qianlong said with a headache. He is not the kind of person who is very good at communication. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been defeated by Toru in the fight for the rat talisman. "Uncle Long, let me talk to my parents myself," Xiaoyu said with a stubborn look. Now Dad has said that new demons may reappear after the death of the Holy Lord. With a strong sense of justice, she naturally couldn't live a stable life with her parents, leaving all the dangers to Uncle Long and her father. She has always been a very independent person, so she took the initiative to discuss it with her parents. "One more thing. Chief Black invited me to be a secret agent in District 13. I can also get a salary to support my family. Uncle Long, I think this is absolutely not possible, Xiaoyu." At the same time, the Black Hand was on the private plane. The Rasu trio gathered around Link with excitement. "Boss, you were so handsome just now. You actually held down that old guy Holy Master with a sword and beat him." Yes, if the boss hadn't taken action, Qianlong and the others wouldn't have been able to activate the magic. Moreover, he took the time to direct us to get all the remaining charms back. What a clever plan. Listening to the Lasso trio constantly praising him beside him, Link glanced at the three of them, feeling a little speechless. If you have anything you want to say, just say it directly. If you want to ask about the salary increase that was promised to you before, you can rest assured that it will be given to you. Quote. Anyway, now that the horse talisman has been recaptured, their company's original restoration business can be started again. It is foreseeable that their mafia group will become richer and richer in the future. The Rasu trio were originally considered the elite backbone of the mafia group. This time, they took out the talisman before the palace collapsed. It was considered a great reward for their hard work, and they deserved promotions and salary increases. To give the three of them benefits, they must at least be paid 10 times more than the senior agents in District 13. Ah Fen's eyes lit up. "Thank you, Boss Link." "Lasso, I just said that Boss Link would never default on his debt." "Joe, long live the boss." After arranging benefits for the Rasu trio, Link set his sights on True, Afu and Valone. It has to be said that the three of them also made great contributions to his collection of talismans, and there is a high probability that they will still play a big role in the future. You must know that after the death of the Holy Lord, these black energy wizards who still exist in the world did receive some black energy. But more black energy is still flowing to the outside world, always waiting to support a new demon to emerge. By then, if Link wants to continue to hunt these demons and seize all the black energy they occupy, the help of Valone and others will naturally be indispensable. "So what do you want?" Link asked slowly. He is not a holy lord, so he can draw big cakes. "I want to let the donkey run all day long, but I still don't give it enough food. Only by satisfying the other party's desires can he be allowed to work for him with peace of mind." "What do you want, Toru?" Toru answered honestly, "Me. I want money to buy my mom a birthday present." "Okay, you can just go to the group to pick up the money you need." Link nodded. He was not short of money anyway, so he directly agreed to Toru's request. Then he turned his attention to Afu and Valone. "What about you? What do you want?" "I want power," Afu said without hesitation. "Can." Link was not surprised at all by Afu's answer. After all, the other party is a martial arts fanatic, and pursuing power is what he wants. "Here's a 3-piece set that boosts strength. Among them are secrets that can improve your own strength, magical weapons that can enhance your wrist strength, and a potion that can strengthen your physical fitness." Quote. Link casually took out 3 items from the package at his feet and handed them to Afu. The so-called secret book is actually the advanced version of the Basic Physical Training of the Navy that he gave to Xiaoyu, Advanced Physical Training of the Navy. The remaining 2 sets were previously practiced by him based on the records in the Encyclopedia of Black Magic. Thank you, Master. With an excited look on his face, Ah Fu took the three-piece suit from Link's hand to increase his strength. Hello, is this guy too shameless? Even the master was called out. Wolong glanced at Ah Fu with great disgust. Who would have thought that this guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes could be so shameless? So, Valone, what do you want? Wallen, to tell you your majesty, Wolong only wants to serve you and has nothing else to ask for. Hearing Valone's extremely disgusting words, the corners of Link's mouth twitched slightly. Why didn't he believe that what Valone said was true? But since the other party has said so, wouldn't it be too disrespectful to not cooperate? So, Link coughed and said, then I'll take what you said to be true. I'll arrange more work for you in the future. Originally, Link thought that when Wallen heard what he said, he would regret that he had taken less advantage. But what he didn't expect was that instead of feeling depressed, Valone showed an expression of excitement. Boss, please feel free to leave the task to me. I promise to complete the task. Unlike the Rasu trio, True and AFU who have little thought about the future, Valone thinks more than others because he has been in a high position for a long time. In his opinion, in fact, neither the Rasu trio, True and AFU, nor even himself are important to Link. They are just mortals. They cannot learn magic, and their combat capabilities may not be as strong as those of the shadow soldiers holding thermal weapons. To put it bluntly, the reason why the company makes money is because of the trio of craftsmanship experts Han Bing and the subsequent recruitment of some scientists from outside. It has no value at all to Link. Valone knows best how hard one life is today. Therefore, in order not to be abandoned by Link, he took the initiative to choose to help Link with more work, and it was free of charge. If this is your idea, I choose to respect it. Link didn't know what Valone was thinking. But out of caution, he still distanced himself from Valen without leaving any trace. You must know that Valone's family is a big noble. Men in that country always have some weird hobbies. He didn't want to be targeted by Valone. Oh, I almost forgot. The great hero who can seal the Holy Lord this time is also you cute little guys. After distributing the rewards to Toru and others, Link patted his head. Then he waved the dragon-headed staff, and three figures composed of gray mist appeared in front of him. Ah, the Holy Lord is resurrected. Don't eat me. When they saw the appearance of the three gray figures, the Lasso trio were immediately frightened and hugged each other. These three gray faces are 70% similar to the Holy Lord. The only difference is that they are much smaller than the Holy Lord, basically only about the same size as an adult tiger. Okay, be quiet, they are all their own people. Looking at the three Lasso people hugging each other, Link said with a speechless expression. Then to prove what he said was true, he stretched out his palm. Those ferocious-looking dragons actually rubbed their faces against Link's palm like a puppy. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Seeing this scene, Lasso felt his heart melting and wanted to touch the dragon's head. But the next moment, the evil dragons started barking at Rasu. Oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Feeling the terrifying aura from the evil dragon, Lasso immediately retracted his hands. These guys are all young dragons. In a sense, they are all dependents of the Holy Lord. It's just that they are not familiar with the Holy Lord, and they also provided a lot of help in sealing the Holy Lord this time. Quote. Link sighed while touching the dragon's head. When he unlocked the seal, there were not only baby dragons but also adult dragons in that sealed space. The adult evil dragons followed the Holy Lord through many wars and were too loyal to the Holy Lord to be conquered, so they were all killed by Link. The only remaining young dragons who were still ignorant were bribed by him with high-grade stakes. Not only do they become his dark killers, they are also willing to continuously provide Link with extraordinary materials of the dragon type. If it weren't for them, Link wouldn't have enough materials to make the sword used to restrain the Holy Lord. Thank you very much. If it weren't for you, I might not have been able to seal the Holy Lord. Link threw a piece of high-quality steak into the baby dragon's mouth, and then asked, is it delicious? Young dragons. Ooh, hell, this is a broken space, an eternal cage. Scarlet, nothingness, and suspended rocks are all here. No. Suddenly, in this silent space, an unwilling roar pierced the sky. A dragon in soul state traveled through endless time and space and came here with an angry look on its face. By the way, it also disturbed some sleeping creatures here. Yo yo yo. Let me see, who is here? Isn't this our good brother, the Holy Lord? After a sinister laugh, a creature that looked like a gargoyle flew from a great distance. The speed is so fast that others can almost see its movements clearly. It is Sky Demon Zimu. Zimu, is that you? When the Holy Master saw the figure of the other party, a trace of panic flashed across its face. It knew that the betrayal of its brothers and sisters was not a good idea. Now its body has been blown apart, and it has no ability to resist the revenge of other demons. Pill, Holy Master didn't expect you to come back again, even your body was destroyed. Zimu kept flying around the Holy Lord with a mocking look on his face. Zimu, actually I can still save you. The Holy Master wanted to explain in advance, but the words had not yet finished. The next moment, a giant hand smashed the floating rock beside him. A huge figure with horns on his head emerged, and the earth demon Dikui roared angrily, "Shut up! Now your only choice is to stay here. You will stay here with us to endure endless pain." The wind demon Zhaofeng, who looked like a toad, appeared and snorted coldly at the residual soul of the Holy Lord. Endless. A trace of panic flashed across the face of the Holy Lord. It would be better to become a stone statue. This is the end of your betrayal. You are living happily above, and we can only wait for the end of the world in this dry hell. A mermaid appeared beside the Holy Lord, and it was the water demon Basha. Our wisdom disappeared in the long years, and we have lived an unchanging life for tens of thousands of years. Zimu circled beside the Holy Lord. You have no intention of saving us at all. The mountain demon Bugang, who was as big as a mountain, stared at the Holy Lord with his scarlet eyes. No, the rescue operation is still being planned, but I am imprisoned in the stone statue. The Holy Lord wanted to explain. Only a boom was heard. Ah! A terrifying lightning bolt struck the Holy Lord directly, causing him to let out a miserable roar that echoed throughout the hell. Shut up! You just want to dominate the world alone, you selfish traitor. The lightning demon Zongsu kept striking the violent thunder in his hand on the Holy Lord's soul. You disappoint us so much, Holy Lord. You have been out there for 500 years. A moon demon curse basket wearing a purple-red Taoist robe floated in front of the Holy Lord and said indifferently. 500 years. But didn't I spend 1,000 years out there? Hearing this, the Holy Lord was stunned. Then it quickly realized that its brothers and sisters seemed to have been tortured by hell and their brains were not working well. Maybe it could trick them into letting them out. So, it immediately came up with a plan. Anyway, find a way to get out first. The Lord shouted hurriedly. Wait. I can save you. The water demon Basha said angrily. Lord, you still want to play tricks on us. The gate of hell can only be opened from the outside. And you are already inside. Brothers and sisters, listen to me. I have an apprentice in the human world named Link, who is suspected to have a destiny. As long as you let me out to control him, I can remove the sacred magic from you. The Holy Lord tried to put on a sincere expression. My fellow countrymen, I know that you can communicate with the outside world at any time if you want. Please believe me again, I will definitely save you all. For a moment, the whole hell was quiet, and all the demons turned their eyes to the good brother Zulan. After a long silence, Zulan's indifferent voice slowly sounded, Holy Lord, how can you be sure that you can release us all? Suppose what you said is true, you have tried your best to rescue us before. How much time did we give you before, and you didn't save us? How can we believe that you can do it this time? Hearing Zulan's question, the Holy Lord was immediately happy. Since the other party asked this, it means there is room for negotiation. It's Link. I have an apprentice named Link, who seems to have a destiny. To be honest, not long after my compatriots sent me up, I was also sealed in the stone statue by the Saint Seiya for a long time. My power was also stripped away by it and turned into 12 talismans scattered all over the world. In order to revive later, I bewitched a family to serve me to find talismans, but I don't know how many years have passed, and no talisman has been found. Until my apprentice Link appeared, it took me less than a year to find the talisman needed for resurrection. As long as I control him, I will definitely be able to let you out. Hearing the words of the Holy Lord, the demons present fell into thinking. In the end, it was still the voice of the curse basket that broke the stalemate. Holy Lord, this is the last chance. Zimu said unwillingly. There is no way, it seems that there is only this choice. Except for the Holy Lord who is a soul body and can barely get out, the rest of us can't get out even if we want to. If there is a choice, Zimu actually doesn't want to believe the Holy Lord. But the problem is that they have no choice. The only way before them was to choose to believe this traitor. Indeed, but I don't believe anything you say. We need a guarantee, otherwise I would rather imprison the Holy Lord in hell every day and endure the torture with us. Water demon Basha looked at Zulin and said slowly. Zulin naturally understood what Basha meant, and then nodded. The next moment, the other 7 demons attacked the Holy Lord at the same time, and 7 green lights shot at the Holy Lord at the same time. Ah, what kind of trick is this? The Holy Lord suddenly felt a pain in his soul body, and the marks of the other 7 demons appeared on his body. Zimu pointed at the Holy Lord and smiled. Everyone knows your virtue. We have to take more stringent measures. Basha, our power will trap you to death in a human body, and we can also pull you back to hell at any time. Di Kui, do you have any questions, Holy Lord? No, no problem. The Holy Lord shook his head violently. Now he is the butcher and he is the fish. How can it refuse? So, the Holy Lord immediately chose to follow his heart and immediately said, I accept your conditions. Hearing the Holy Lord's answer, the demons such as Curse Basket nodded one after another. Then everyone, let's start to send the Holy Lord back. Black Hand Building. Link took a special brush and wrote a word, Chi, on the bodies of Valone and other subordinates. Okay, this word is written with special ink and will not be washed away within a year. Although I have eliminated the Holy Lord may still make a comeback. This word, Chi, can protect your body from being invaded by demons. Link said lightly. For his subordinates, Link still values them very much, and he can't let the Holy Lord bully him like in the original book. So he wrote the word, Chi, for everyone to prevent their bodies from being invaded. It's really worthy of the boss's handwriting, it's beautiful. It seems that this area will never be washed. It looks so handsome. The Lasso trio looked at the words Link wrote for them with excitement. Link felt as if his IQ was about to be polluted by the 3 people of Lasso. So, he immediately found some reasons to send Lasso and others away, and then immediately turned around and asked Valone, Valone, how is it now that I asked you to find the dark creatures in the world? After killing the Holy Lord, Link only got 1/10 of the other party's black energy. Although this amount of black energy does not seem to be much, it also helped Link to completely break through the realm of the Great Wizard and made him one of the top wizards in the world. In addition, he also mastered the 12 spells magic from the Holy Lord, and his magic status was naturally higher. His strength basically crushed the dark creatures that still survived in the world. What werewolves, vampires, sheep-eating beasts, deep-sea monsters, etc., Link didn't take them seriously. These guys are just enemies competing with him for black energy. In the current situation where Link is fully grown, in order to get the black energy they occupy. So Link sent Valone and others to search for traces of these dark creatures all over the world. Report to the boss. I have sent Black Hands to search for the dark creatures you mentioned all over the world. We have found traces of about 20 dark creatures, and their locations have been marked on the map. It's a pity that Daolong, the guy you specifically asked for, has never been seen. Wellen respectfully presented a map, on which traces of dark creatures had been marked with red dots, which was very clear. After seeing the map location marked by Valone diligently, Link couldn't help but nodded with satisfaction. Have the traces of Daolosaurus been discovered yet? Link thought silently. If I guessed correctly, Daolong should have a lot of black energy in his body. What he originally wanted most was actually the black energy on Daolong. After all, the black energy on Daolong's body should be considered large compared to those sporadic dark creatures. However, I don't know if it's because the news that Link defeated the Holy Lord and started hunting dark creatures crazily spread wildly among the Black Chi camp. As a result, Daolong was scared. In short, Wulong spent countless connections and money but still couldn't find Daolong. In this regard, Link did not criticize Valone too much. After all, with Daolong's magical attainments, if the other party wants to avoid being discovered, he really can't. In that case, then don't worry about Daolong for the time being. You should be more careful with your recent actions. If you have anything, just tell me. Link said to Valone with concern. The other party is his trump card for dealing with Xiaoyu in the future, so he naturally needs to pay more attention to him. Thank you for your concern, boss. After hearing Link's concerned words, Valone responded with excitement. Sure enough, he was rewarded for serving Link so hard. Now he shouldn't have to worry about being kicked away by Link. Boom boom boom. Link, my lord is back again. A yellow dragon-shaped shadow appeared in the sky above San Francisco, looking at the tallest black hand building in the city. Its eyes were full of anger of betrayal. Haha, Link, I will make you pay the price when the time comes. The lord snorted coldly. Then it ran away from the black hand building without looking back. The so-called looking for Link to possess is just a lie to its brothers and sisters. If he was still in his prime, it would be fine for it to trouble Link. But now it is just a soul. Going to Link in the current soul state is not to possess, but to die. Anyway, I just said Link, not which Link. There are so many Links in the United States, even Qianlong's nickname can be Link. Why should I provoke the most dangerous one? The Lord, who has lost his body, thought very cautiously. Looking for Link, who has a destiny to possess, is actually just a pie in the sky that the Lord painted for his brothers and sisters. If it weren't for the fact that it still had the magic cast by its brothers and sisters, it would have no way to remove the magic without helping the other 7 demons to revive. Otherwise, it would have wanted to just give up and control a random passerby to live. We still have to find a way to help our brothers and sisters out of trouble. Thinking about it this way, we still need to find some people with destiny. That's you, Qianlong. The Lord thought silently. The so-called people with destiny are actually those who are favored by more righteousness and black energy. For Qianlong, a mortal bone who caused himself a lot of trouble in the final battle, it naturally meets the Lord's judgment on the candidate. Compared to contacting the dangerous Link, the Lord, who now only has a soul body, is undoubtedly safer to target those mortal bones with potential. Qianlong, here I come. Dad's antique shop. In order to welcome the beginning of the new year, Qianlong and Xiaoyu began to clean up the antique shop. Just as they took down the antiques one by one to clean up the dust, suddenly the whole antique shop was lit up with a green light, and terrifying mana fluctuations emerged. Then came a faint roar. Although I couldn't hear what was said, I could feel the anger and grievance in it. Xiaoyu, did you hear anything just now? Why do I seem to hear the roar of the Holy Lord? Am I sick? Qianlong scratched his head. He didn't know if today's work was too tiring and made his nerves too tense. Just now, in a trance, he seemed to hear the Holy Lord's abuse. Really, Uncle Long, do you want me to buy some medicine for you? Xiaoyu said in a surprised look. Hearing the conversation between Qianlong and Xiaoyu, the old man interrupted speechlessly. Okay, Xiaoyu. Don't bully your Uncle Long. It was the Holy Lord who ran out of hell just now and wanted to invade my father's antique shop but failed. It's a pity for my formation. As the old man said, he cleaned out a batch of lizard tails and turtle shells from the room in the antique shop. This formation was actually set up by the old man to prevent Link from sneaking into the antique shop. I never thought that it would be the Holy Lord who took the hit for him. I seem to have heard the Holy Lord say that Link was his apprentice before. Could this be the deep love between master and apprentice? It hurts. My soul was almost sent back to hell. The Holy Lord looked in pain. It had never expected that the old man would have this trick up his sleeve. Just now, it was almost sent back to its hometown in hell by the defensive formation. The pain that filled every part of its soul also made it dare not set its sights on Qianlong and his gang again. Qianlong, old man, these guys in the righteous camp are always like this. The Holy Lord was angry and helpless. It would be fine if it didn't come with a mission now, but the key is that it came with a mission. If it can't liberate those compatriots within a year, what awaits it is endless pain and torture. What should I do? It seems that I can only go to those guys beside Link. The Lord looked helpless. Although it has always felt that the Narasu trio and Valone are unreliable, it has no choice now. Father, if you go to those guys beside Link in your current state, there is only one end, which is death. Just as the Lord was struggling, a familiar yet unfamiliar voice came from behind him. When the Lord turned his head and saw the other party's figure like a green lizard, he first showed an unbelievable look. Demon Dragon, my good child, how could you wake up early? No, if you were resurrected, how can my brothers and sisters be resurrected? Seeing his eldest son appear in front of him, the Lord's first reaction was not to be happy that someone could help him. Its first reaction was panic. You must know that the black air position vacated after his death is only enough for one demon to escape the seal. As a result, the demon dragon now appears in front of him. Is the remaining black air enough for his brothers and sisters to be resurrected? Seeing that his father did not look happy at all when he saw him, but instead had a look of horror on his face, the devil Xiaolong was speechless. Although the demons do not have family affection, can't you at least pretend? My old father, don't worry. My birth will not hinder the unsealing of those old guys in hell. The reason why I can come out is that your disciple Link slaughtered too many dark creatures and released a lot of black energy. The demon dragon explained slowly. Perhaps the black energy occupied by a dark creature is only a little. But Link has killed too many dark creatures during this period. Among them, there are extremely powerful second-generation vampires who died in Link's hands. Although Link himself also occupied a part of the black energy of these dead dark creatures, more black energy still flowed into the world. Because the demon dragon is not the original demon of the world, but the descendant of the demon. The black energy conditions it needs are naturally not as high as those of the 8 demons. These black energies accumulated little by little, and finally gathered the conditions for the birth of the demon dragon, which eventually led to its birth. Old father, if I'm not mistaken, you still have the magic of those 7 people in your body, right? Asked the little devil dragon. The Holy Lord was silent for a moment, then nodded. Yes, if I don't help the 7 of them to revive, my soul may be dragged back to hell by them at any time. Hearing this, the little devil dragon smiled. In that case, father. Then I can not only help you find a good body, but also help you revive your brothers and sisters. How about you just ask those old guys to agree to one condition of mine? In response to the question from the demon dragon, the Holy Lord thought for a moment, and then asked cautiously, what do you want them to pay? I can help them return to the human world, but the premise is that they need to give me the magic energy that was sealed by the immortal gods. The demon dragon calmly stated his conditions. As a demon descendant, the demon dragon has had a dream since childhood, that is, to become a great demon. However, it has only inherited a part of the Holy Lord's fire magic energy, let alone comparable to the original demons of the 8 demons. Even Terra, the commander of the Black Shadow Corps, can't compare with it. In terms of status alone, it is about the same as the Ghost General under Terra. In other words, if it relies solely on its own practice, its future achievements will not be much higher than Terra's Ghost Generals, and the dream of becoming a great demon is even more out of reach. Because of this, the demon dragon took the initiative to find his old father, the Holy Lord, hoping that the other party can take the lead to let it contact the other 7 demons. In exchange for helping the 7 demons to resurrect, it obtained the magic energy that was originally sealed by the 7 demons, helping itself to be promoted to a great demon. Okay, the Holy Lord's soul body first showed a trace of thought, and then nodded. Anyway, it's not for him to pay the price. Why not get a helper for no reason? So, the Holy Lord immediately started to act. Through the magic cast by the 7 demons on him, the Holy Lord got in touch with his compatriots in hell. Holy Lord, have you found a way to remove our seal? A picture like a pond appeared in front of the Holy Lord and the demon dragon, and the figures of Basha, Curse Basket and other demons slowly emerged. My dear brothers and sisters, my action has made great progress this time. The Holy Lord said excitedly while pushing the demon dragon to the front of the pond. My child, the demon dragon, after hearing your miserable stories, is determined to contribute to your unsealing. But it has a little condition that I hope you can agree to. Demon dragon, are you the demon dragon? On the other side of the pond, Basha and other demons looked at the demon dragon in surprise. They did know that the Holy Lord had a child, but they knew a lot about the child. They didn't even know whether the Holy Lord was a demon dragon born from self-splitting, or whether he gave birth to the demon dragon with a female dragon. Therefore, when they heard the Holy Lord say that the demon dragon proposed the terms of the deal, they placed their inherent impression of their father, the Holy Lord, on the demon dragon. Hello, uncles and aunts. During the conversation with the 7 demons in person, the demon dragon naturally didn't dare to call them old things. If the negotiations broke down because of this, it would be bad. No need to talk nonsense. The big brother Zulin was in no mood to talk nonsense with the demon dragon, and asked directly, "The Holy Lord said that you want to negotiate with us, so what do you want?" "Uncle Zulin, I am willing to make my own contribution to your resurrection, and the reward is that I want the magic energy that was sealed by the immortal god," the demon dragon said slowly. Hearing this, the 7 demons' faces suddenly changed. You have to know that the sealed magic energy is their original magic power, which is equivalent to their life force. Asking them for magic energy is equivalent to asking for their life force. Despicable and greedy saint, you must have instructed your son to say that. The hot-tempered lightning demon Zongsu raised his hand and a lightning bolt passed through the magic they cast on the saint, sending the saint a lightning strike. Ah! The saint screamed in pain and cursed in his heart, "Zongsu! It's not that I want your magic energy, why don't you go to shock the demon Xiaolong? Am I even wrong to breathe?" Although the saint cursed in his heart, he still looked humble on the surface. After all, it was set up by the 7 demons, and promoting cooperation between the two sides was the choice that was beneficial to it. So, the Holy Lord endured the pain and said to the demons such as Curse Basket, "My compatriots, in fact, the magic energy is not important to you. Whether there is more magic energy or less magic energy, it will not affect your powerful strength, handsome appearance and ability to rule the world." Quote. Hearing the words of the Holy Lord, the 7 demons looked at the Holy Lord with a strange look in their eyes. "Holy Lord, why do you speak so nicely? The first time you tricked us into sending you out, it seemed that you had the same attitude. Do you have any ideas to cheat us again?" For the Holy Lord, the 7 demons did not trust him from the bottom of their hearts. Who can guarantee that there is no trick here? Dear brothers and sisters, you have to think about it carefully. My soul is in your hands now. How can I play tricks? My children and I serve you wholeheartedly. We just asked you for a little reward, but you think of us like this. It's really insulting to the demons. While the Holy Lord said, he cunningly squeezed out a few tears. Seeing this scene, the 7 demons also felt that they had wronged the Holy Lord. Well, resurrection is the key anyway. It doesn't matter whether there is demonic energy or not. Zimu was the first to speak. Anyway, its original magic energy is not its biggest reliance, the demon magic it has mastered is the key. It really doesn't matter whether it has the original magic energy or not. As long as I can be resurrected, I can accept this condition. Zhao Feng echoed on the side. I can accept it too. Dekui, Basha, and Bugang spoke one after another. For them, freedom is obviously more important than losing magic energy. The remaining Zongsu and Zulin were silent. Zongsu simply didn't want to lose his magic energy, and Zulin weighed the pros and cons before slowly speaking. Demon Xiaolong, I am willing to agree to your conditions, but the premise must be that you revive us first, and then we will help you find magic energy. After hearing this, the demon dragon's face suddenly became happy, and he immediately responded, "Deal." In the middle of the night, Link sat at the head of the bed with a sad face looking at the miniature statue of the Holy Lord in his hand, and sighed softly. I don't know if the Holy Lord Master has resurrected. If he doesn't release the 7 demons, my next plan to seize the demons' original magic energy will not be easy to implement. Whether the Holy Lord can be resurrected depends on whether his brothers and sisters are willing to believe in him. Since he was powerless to decide, Link simply stopped thinking and fell asleep in bed. In his dream, he felt the familiar call again, as if his soul was infinitely lifted again. When he woke up, he came to the familiar Grey Fog Palace again. After a period of feeling, Link came to the Grey Mist Palace. He just arrived at the Grey Mist Palace. One Piece Link and Hunter Link saw him and said hello to him. Jackie Chan's Adventures Link, you are here. The Adventures of Chen Long Link looked around and asked with some confusion, that's strange, where are the other Links? Normally, shouldn't there be more people? Why are there only 3 of them this time? I don't know, God knows what the specific operating rules of this Grey Mist Palace are. After the last reunion, I came in one more time, and that time I met Kung Fu Panda Link and Naruto Link. Kung Fu Panda Link is living a happy life. He and Po defeated the Broken Leopard and became one of the Furious 5. As for Hokage Link, when I last saw him, I saw that he looked unhappy. It is said that his friends wanted to choose him to be Hokage, but he did not want to be. Quote. Link, the full-time hunter, spoke slowly. The adventures of Qianlong Link became one of the Furious Five. Which of the 5 heroes died? Full-time hunter Link. Not dead. Just like there are 5 of the 4 heavenly kings, it's not surprising that there are 6 of the Furious Five, right? Seeing that the two were about to continue chatting, the impatient pirate Link directly grabbed the hand of the full-time hunter Link and Qianlong's adventures Link. Oh, you guys only talk so much nonsense, please let me touch you. Along with a strange current flowing through the body, the 3 Links soon completed synchronization. After sharing their abilities and memories, One Piece Link and Hunter Link said, "Wow," and looked at Qianlong's adventure Link in shock. "Wow, foster father. Link, you are too fierce. I told you a long time ago, you are the real boss. The real big brother." There was no other reason why the two of them were shocked. It's simply because the benefits brought back by Link from the adventures of Qianlong this time are a bit too huge. Now Qianlong's adventure Link not only masters all the magic corresponding to the 12 talismans. Even some of the magic in the Encyclopedia of Dark Arts has been mastered. Not to mention that his total mana has made a qualitative leap with the blessing of black energy and energy magic corresponding to the Dragon Talisman. The adventures of Qianlong, if Link's current mana were converted into chakra, I'm afraid it wouldn't be basically equivalent to a tailed beast in the Naruto world. The transformation of this energy into One Piece Link and Hunter Link has undoubtedly increased their total domineering and mental energy. Compared with the benefits brought to them by Link in the adventures of Qianlong, although Link in One Piece and Hunter Link cannot be said to have gained nothing at all, they are indeed incomparable to the gains made by Link in the adventures of Qianlong. Actually, it's not bad. Your harvest is not bad, and you can provide me with a lot of help. The adventures of Qianlong Link looked at the memories shared by the two and spoke slowly. Link, a full-time hunter, has enhanced his mental capacity and physical fitness a lot by relying on the restrictions and oaths he established. At the same time, because he was protecting the gang, he had already fought with the combatants of the brigade in Yuxin City. In the end, if the other party hadn't been willing to spend a lot of money to buy his own life, I'm afraid that many spider legs will be broken before Kurapika takes action. As for Pirate Link, due to lack of time, he only raised the intensity of armed color hockey to a higher level under Garp's teachings, awakened and mastered the use of Overlord color hockey. Time passes much slower here. Luffy hasn't sent me a message yet. I'm afraid I haven't met Crocodile's Baroque studio yet. Anyway, when Luffy kills Crocodile next, I should be able to add to my credit. Then I will look at this achievement to see if I can get the Overlord color entanglement training method from the Navy to improve my strength. Quote. One Piece World. The sun was shining brightly on this day, and a luxurious naval warship with a giant dragon on its bow slowly docked on the shore of Shiji Village in Seymour. Look, that ship should be the legendary Lord Link's ship. I heard that Lord Link recently led his troops to kill many pirates and saved many villages. When I grow up, I also want to be in the Navy. The children of Seymour Shiki Village said excitedly when they saw Link's big ship. Since all the big pirates in the East China Sea were purged by Luffy, Link's reputation in the East China Sea has skyrocketed. Even children in remote areas have heard about Link's name. But even after killing so many pirates, his life was not easy, but became a little busy. The reason is also very simple, that is, the money they seized is too much. Link was worried about how to spend the money. Whether it is the Dragon Pirates or the Creek Pirates, they are considered to be wealthy people in the East China Sea, not to mention the embezzled money of Colonel Mouse. Of course, there is no need to say more about the Dragon Pirates. Their protection fee is 100,000 belly per month for adults and 50,000 berry per month for children. They ruled more than 20 villages in total, and each village had dozens of people at least, or hundreds of people at most. Based on this calculation, the monthly protection fee received by the Dragon Pirates alone is probably over 100 million. Although the area controlled by the Creek Pirates is not as large as that of the Dragon Pirates. The property he left behind also included 50 large warships, more than 500 cargo ships, tens of thousands of weapons and ammunition, and cash treasures worth more than 300 million. Although Link had asked the Navy of the East China Sea to contact the victims to register the losses and use this part of the money for compensation, there were still nearly 200 million left. It was just sitting there anyway. Link simply thought of spending some money to invite a famous teacher to give guidance to the Navy under his command and improve their strength. The strength of these Navy under his command has increased. In the future, they can also spontaneously deal with more pirates and bandits, thereby earning more credit for Link, so why not? So, Link began to visit his Navy everywhere, looking for strong people who are suitable for training his subordinates as teachers. Although the East China Sea is not big, strong people are also very rare, and it is even called the weakest sea. But Link knew that a strong man from the second half of the Grand Line lived in the village of Seymour Shiki on the East China Sea island. That is Shimotsuki Koshiro of Isshin Dojo. Link feels that Shimotsuki Koshiro is a hidden master. Judging from the fact that he can teach Zoro the secrets of swordsmanship, he is at least at the level of a swordsman. What's more, he is the owner of a dojo and has certain teaching abilities. He is the perfect teacher for the Navy who knows nothing. However, when Link asked Shimotsuki Koshiro to give lectures to the Navy, he was rejected. "I'm sorry, Officer Link. The content taught in Isshin Dojo is just some very simple kendo basics, which is not suitable for Navy training." Koshiro smiled and refused. Koshiro didn't have too many ideas about guiding the Navy to practice, and he even had some resistance. The corruption of the Navy in the East China Sea is not a matter of 1 or 2 days. Although Koshiro is not a local, he has lived in the East China Sea and naturally has a deep understanding of it. It is true that for a long time before, Link's reputation was extremely loud in the East China Sea, and the evaluation was very positive. It can be seen that Koshiro, who has seen countless darkness, is different from those simple children. He didn't dare to believe Link easily. "Oh, Mr. Shimotsuki Koshiro, do you dislike our Navy?" Faced with Koshiro's refusal, Link didn't seem to be angry at all, but smiled. He slowly said, "That's right, after all, Mr. Shimotsuki Koshiro provided a lot of money and food to the Revolutionary Army, so it's normal to be dissatisfied with the Navy. But Mr. Shimotsuki Koshiro, you don't want this to be known by the Navy and the world government, right?" "What are you talking about? I don't understand. I've never heard of the Revolutionary Army." Although Koshiro was extremely shocked in his heart and didn't understand how he had exposed his whereabouts, he remained calm on the surface and denied Link's statement. Having any connection with the Revolutionary Army is much more serious than colluding with pirates. He himself is a Buddhist character, and he just wants to live a peaceful life on weekdays, and doesn't want to be too involved in this complicated vortex. Otherwise, with his ability, it would be no problem for him to join the Revolutionary Army as a deputy commander. Why would he only do some logistical work such as delivering food and money? Oh, really? It's a pity that the people in the world government will not listen to your explanations. As long as they are suspected of being connected with the Revolutionary Army, they will eliminate them without hesitation. I think you should know this best, right, Mr. Koshiro?" Link's face was still full of smiles. But Koshiro did not feel a trace of warmth, but felt a piercing chill from him. But there were still some doubts in his heart. If the other party was completely a lackey of the world government, then it stands to reason that the other party would directly report his collusion with the Revolutionary Army to the world government, which would benefit his career more. But the other party just used this matter as a threat to let him teach his subordinates the Navy swordsmanship. What was this for? Could it be that Link was still an ambitious person who wanted to develop his own armament? Koshiro was not clear about Link's position. But no matter what, he had to admit that Link's threat was indeed effective. Compared to the life of fleeing after his identity was exposed, he still preferred a stable and ordinary life. Regarding Link's position, we will check it carefully after the follow-up contact. If it is confirmed that he is indeed a villain, just get rid of him directly, and then escape. Koshiro thought silently in his heart. He still has confidence in his own strength. It is true that he has not taken action for a long time, but this does not mean that he has forgotten how to fight. Judging from the previous rumors, Link's own strength should not be outstanding, and he still relies more on his subordinates to gain merit. Such a person should not be his opponent. Thinking of this, Koshiro smiled and said to Link, "Since Commander Link thinks so highly of me, I am willing to make a contribution to the Navy." Link did not know what Koshiro was thinking. Even if he knew, he would not care. Link has always been a pragmatist. As long as he can work for him, the other party can think of anything. Welcome to the 153rd Marine Branch, Mr. Koshiro. Your position as our Navy's swordsmanship instructor, please come aboard. On the vast sea, a dragon-headed warship was setting sail towards the 153rd branch. Koshiro sat on the bow, silently watching Link lying on the legs of a blue short-haired beauty and eating fresh grapes leisurely. After seeing Link's appearance without any serious navy. Although Koshiro still kept his squinting eyes and smile on the surface, he had no hope for the next naval branch in his heart. Since their immediate superior Link was so greedy for enjoyment, the people below were probably even more lax and undisciplined. Mr. Koshiro, do you want to come over and eat some fruit? These are all fruits we grow ourselves, without any strange things added. Perhaps feeling that he had neglected Koshiro, Link asked Koshiro. No, thank you. In Koshiro's view, these were all temptations given by Link to pull him into the group. In an uncertain state, he could not accept any good intentions from Link. So, Mr. Link, how long will it take us to get there? 3 more minutes. 2, 1, we're here. As Link finished speaking, the speed of the warship began to slow down, and the town of Shields, where the 153rd branch of the Navy was located, finally appeared in front of everyone. At this moment, Shields town was more lively than when the Great Axe Monka was in office. Various fishing boats and merchant ships came and went in an endless stream. This Shields town looks pretty good, not as bad as expected. Even from the scale alone, this is no longer a town but a city. A glimmer of surprise flashed under Koshiro's glasses. Such a lively and prosperous scene is quite common in the wealthy capitals of various countries, as well as large islands such as the water capital and the Sabayati archipelago. But the problem is that this is just an ordinary island, and he has never even heard of any rare specialties in Shields Town before. Seeing that Shields Town is like this, Koshiro's impression of Link is somewhat better. To be able to build a small island into such a prosperous appearance, it seems that Link is quite capable. It seems that I can learn from him when the time comes. But what happened at the port the next moment instantly made his impression of Link fall to the bottom. I saw a group of ragged men and women being taken down from a warship by the Navy, and their faces were full of confusion. It seems that they don't know what kind of life they will face in the future. Are these people civilians captured by the Navy? Koshiro narrowed his eyes slightly, and his face turned cold. Could it be that the reason why this Shields town can become a prosperous city is to rely on exploiting civilians? Sure enough, we still have to ignite this place with the spark of the Revolutionary Army. Koshiro was thinking. Link suddenly came over, patted Koshiro on the shoulder and smiled. How is it? The Shields town we built looks good, right? Not bad, not bad. Koshiro, who was originally angry because of the confused people, calmed down again. He also wanted to observe the town of Shields more carefully in order to collect evidence and hand it over to the Revolutionary Army to liberate the place. So, he took the initiative to ask Link to take a walk in Shields. Mr. Koshiro, of course there is no problem. You know, the town of Shields built with the help of our Navy Branch 153 is known as one of the top 10 model towns in the East China Sea. From time to time, the Navy headquarters will ask the Navy from other regions to visit and learn from our Shields town. Before Link could speak, the blue short-haired beauty beside him introduced happily. She is Nami's sworn sister Nokiko. Since Link led the Navy to eliminate the dragon pirates, Nokiko's impression of the Navy has improved a lot. Especially after Link led the 153rd branch to maintain law and order in various parts of the East China Sea, she has confirmed that this 153rd branch is a navy like Belmere. So, she took the initiative to join, and stood out among the trainee navy with her good qualifications. Later, she was valued by Link and brought to his side for personal training. Is Shields Town a model town in the East China Sea? Koshiro looked around. In front of him were long rows of stone roads. There were buildings all around, and the houses looked extremely neat and clean. The residents wore clean clothes and had happy smiles on their faces. In a sense, Shields Town on the surface is indeed worthy of the term model town. But the premise is that these achievements were not obtained by exploiting civilians. Just as Koshiro was thinking about how the other party would treat those civilians, a mature-looking Navy came over and reported to Nokigo, "Miss Nokigo, the refugees who just came here have been settled by us." "Oh, I know, I remember that group of refugees were the ones who were harmed by the dragon pirates. Those people should know me. I will go over to make arrangements later," Nokigo said slowly. Hearing what Nojiko said, Koshiro's eyes flashed and he took the initiative to step forward. "Miss Nojiko, if you have anything to do, go ahead and do it. I can go shopping by myself." "Really?" Nojiko asked in surprise. Koshiro smiled slightly. "I have a good sense of the road down here. Even if I am in a strange place, I will never get lost. Miss Nokigao, please feel free to go." "I see." Nokigao nodded, and then left with the mature-looking marine. Seeing Nojigao leaving, Koshiro narrowed his eyes, casually paid for a cloak from a stall nearby, and then secretly followed Nojigao. If his guess was correct, the refugees mentioned by the two of them just now should be the group of people dressed in rags that he saw before. Although he could also directly make a formal request to Nokigao and ask him to take him there instead of using this sneaky way. But if he really does this, there is no guarantee that he may act on the occasion. Koshiro wanted to see the true side of the other party, so he could only rely on sneaky methods to check the situation. In a huge warehouse, a little girl looked at the people coming and going, and couldn't help but feel a little scared, and asked the man next to her, "Dad, are they trying to sell us?" She has lived in one of the 20 villages and towns ruled by the dragon pirates since she was a child. However, due to the poor geographical location of their villages and the lack of soil fertility on the island, everyone in the village basically cannot afford to pay. In order to get some oil and water out of their bodies, the dragon pirates teamed up with Colonel Mouse from the original 16th branch to start a slave business. She would also often see a group of people dressed in white coming to her village and turning the villagers' hard-earned money into accounts. Then the men in white would take the villagers aboard. After that, the little girl never saw those people who were taken away again. So in the little girl's impression, those guys wearing white clothes are bad guys. Don't worry, Lord Link is different from the previous Captain Mouse, and even other Marines. He is a legendary hero. The man held his daughter's little hand and comforted her softly. But he said that, but in his heart he actually had no idea. Who knows if the so-called great hero is just a disguise? He doesn't know what his future destiny will be. Just when the man was thinking and worrying, with a sound of dong dong dong, Nochigao led the navy and pushed a cart of food in front of everyone. "It's time to eat. Everyone, come over and eat quickly." The moment she saw Nuochigao, the little girl's eyes lit up. "Dad, look, it's the sister from Kokoja village." "Which sister from Kokoja village?" The man looked at Nokigao in confusion, and the memory suddenly appeared in his mind. The blue-haired girl in front of her is also a member of the dragon pirates who rule the villages and towns. But why does the other party appear here? "Brother, why are you still standing here? Why don't you hurry up and choose the dishes?" Seeing the man's dull expression, Nuochigao stepped forward and asked, "Can we really eat it?" The man asked timidly while holding the girl's hand. "Of course, these foods are prepared for you by Master Link. From now on, you can all have a full meal and wear clean clothes here. Of course, this benefit does not allow you to eat and drink for free forever. After this month, you need to work in exchange for it. Our Navy will not only provide jobs, but also arrange personnel to teach you your craft. Even if you don't plan to live here in the future, you can survive elsewhere. If you have mastered a special skill, you can come to me and I will report it to Lord Link. So in order to work more smoothly in the future, you should have a full meal first. You can eat as much as you want, but remember not to waste it." Quote. Nuochi said with a smile. Seeing the refugees eating the food, I shed tears for no reason, and Nokigao was deeply touched. She is in the same situation as these refugees. Naturally, we understand how desperate the villagers are under the oppression of the dragon pirates and Colonel Mouse. In order to repay Lord Link for helping us escape from suffering, we must work hard to practice in the future and try to help Lord Link get a promotion and a salary increase. Nuochigao encouraged herself in her heart. And not far away, a figure watched this scene. His eyes became a little complicated. Kushiro didn't know what to say, but the thought came to his mind that I should be if I doubt Link. At this moment, his mind couldn't help but think of the conversation he had with Long, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. At that time, they had talked about their ultimate goal, which was to allow civilians in this world to live safely. Originally, Kushiro firmly believed that only the Revolutionary Army could accomplish this, otherwise he would not give the money he saved to the Revolutionary Army. But the current scene told him that someone other than the Revolutionary Army had accomplished this goal, and accomplished it very well. This scene was clearly what the Revolutionary Army had always expected and what he had always expected. Now Kushiro truly recognizes Link and is willing to sincerely teach his swordsmanship to Link. Chapter 91. Navy Branch 153. After seeing the prosperous scene of Link's Shields town and his attitude towards refugees, Kushiro's attitude towards Link changed completely. At the same time, he began to teach the Navy to learn swordsmanship with all his heart, and even Link learned a lesson. After all, he is very interested in things that can increase his own strength. It's not clear whether Link's Marines are talented and intelligent, or whether Kushiro's teaching skills are truly astonishing. The results of the Navy's study of Kendo are very gratifying. In less than a week, many of his subordinates have reached the level of ordinary swordsmen. Not to mention being able to capture those pirates with tens of millions of bounties on their heads, but at least 1 to 2 million level pirates are no longer a match for this group of Navy. In today's East China Sea, all the tens of millions of pirates have been looted by Link, and the remaining pirates are basically only around 1 million in strength. The melee combat capabilities of his navy are basically adequate. In addition, they will transform the large battleships of the Creek pirates into naval warships, and each warship will be equipped with Link bombs modified from Bucky bombs. In fact, since the warships of Navy Branch 153 began patrolling, those pirate groups that unfortunately encountered Navy Branch 153 were all wiped out, leaving almost no survivors. Either choose to surrender, be willing to submit to reform, and devote your labor to generate income for Branch 153. Or choose to resist and kill. With their cruel style and terrifying combat power, pirates in the entire East China Sea did not dare to make mistakes and retreated into darkness. And Link also received praise from the Navy headquarters for his effective management of the East China Sea. Just when Link thought his peaceful time would last for a long time, a phone call suddenly came. "Hey, this is Navy Branch 153. Do you need help with anything?" The next moment, Nami's voice came from the other end of the phone. "Brother Link, I'm Nami. Recently we caught a group of guys with bounties worth tens of millions. They called Jim himself Mr. Five and Michita called himself Mr. Valentine. Can I exchange the bounty with you? Gold." Seeing the phone bug's eyes turn into Bailey's, the corners of Link's mouth twitched slightly. When he parted ways with the Straw Hat Boys, in order to attract them to kill the pirates, he called himself as soon as possible so that they could go there on time to claim the credit. Link specifically told Nami that if he caught a criminal with a bounty on his head in the future, he could contact him directly through the phone bug. He could use his own salary to pay for the bounty. After all, the Straw Hats still don't have any bounty on their head, despite the help of Link's behind-the-scenes operation. But after all, there is a pirate flag on their ship, so it is impossible to collect rewards like a bounty hunter. They can only rely on Link. So in order to earn this bounty, the money-loving Nami naturally chose to agree to Link without hesitation and became the mafia that facilitated Link's promotion and salary increase. Two criminals with tens of millions of bounties on their heads. Of course it's no problem, I'll send someone over right now. Link replied, thinking silently. Hear the information in Nami's words and combine it with the plot of the original work. Link has roughly guessed that the timeline where Luffy and others are located should be near Whiskey Peak. Including Nami and the others have also been in contact with Princess Vivi of Alabasta. Is Luffy finally going to fight Crocodile? I get the credit again. Link's eyes lit up. If he guessed correctly, after the Battle of Crocodile, his own military rank should be promoted to Brigadier General. At the same time, he is also eligible to apply for a famous sword. After all, he had also studied under Kushiro in elementary school, and his strength was about the same as that of a swordsman. It would be unreasonable if he didn't have a famous sword like this. However, even though Link coveted Crocodile's considerable achievements, he did not directly say that he wanted to go there. Rather than taking the initiative to ask for help, Link still wanted to wait for Nami or Wei Wei to take the initiative to ask for help. After all, it would be too cheap if I offered to go over to help. Only by letting them take the initiative to ask for help and then go over by myself would it be easier to get the other person's gratitude. Sure enough, not long after Link said he would send someone over later, the appearance of the phone bug changed the next moment. Hello Lord Link, I am Vivi, the Princess of Alabasta. Now working as an undercover agent in a secret organization in a Baroque studio. While undercover, I discovered that the goal of this Baroque studio is to subvert our Alabasta regime. I hope to get help from the Navy. Quote, listening to the words coming from the other end of the phone, Link's expression became a little strange. Why do these words sound so similar to Qin Shi phone scam in his previous life? That's not right. This is not even as good as a phone scam. Fortunately, Qin Shi was able to draw a big picture of establishing a prince and commanding the army. Why is there no big picture in Wei Wei's words? Is this still a qualified member of the royal family? Thinking of this, Link coughed a few times, and then joked. Princess Wei Wei, may I ask if you have given me any less conditions? For example, if I send the navy to assist, and when your kingdom is at peace, you can make me a noble. At the very least, shouldn't you give me a reward? Quote. When Wei Wei heard Link asking her for noble status and money, she was confused. She subconsciously asked, what kind of noble status do you want? Quote. Princess Vivi doesn't look very smart. Didn't she realize I was joking? Hearing Vivi's answer, Link knew that she definitely didn't realize that he was actually joking. Let's not talk about whether Vivi has the ability to make him a noble. Even if Vivi wants to make him a noble, he doesn't dare to accept it. You should know that the only genuine noble and royal family in Alabasta is the Nefertari family. This family is one of the 20 royal families that created the world government 800 years ago, and is the descendant of the legendary celestial dragons. Although it refuses to enter the Holy Land and does not have the privileges that normal celestial dragons have, it is not something that ordinary people can become. At least Link feels that it is impossible for an ordinary person like him. Okay, Princess Vivi, I'm just joking with you. Alabasta is one of the member states of the world government and should be protected by the Navy. But our Navy also needs sufficient evidence and preparation to go out. Since you have infiltrated the Baroque works that intends to destroy Alabasta, do you have any specific list of personnel or evidence to prove that Baroque works attacked Alabasta? Quote. Link continued to ask. He had to ensure that his actions were legal and compliant, and not pay attention to any flaws, so that he could get a perfect promotion. Vivi was silent for a moment. Unfortunately, I don't have any evidence on hand. But I know who the boss of Baroque Works is. He is the current Shichibukai crocodile. Crocodile. Hearing this, Link pretended to be very surprised and continued to ask. Princess Vivi, do you know that the Shichibukai is a measure taken by the world government to intimidate pirates and protect the government's member countries? Your accusation against the Shichibukai is a strong accusation. If the facts are not as you said, you may have to pay a huge price. Quote. Vivi cried excitedly. Every word I said is true. I hope that Lord Link can help Alabasta overcome the difficulties. But you have no evidence, and we have no way to report to the Navy headquarters, so naturally we can't mobilize a large number of Navy. How about this? My friend Colonel Smoker and I will come to Alabasta to help you investigate on the pretext of personal friendship. If your accusation is true, we will personally bring Crocodile to justice. How about this? You follow Luffy. I am quite confident in their strength. Crocodile may not be their opponent. In a few days, Smoker and I will also rush to Alabasta to join you. Quote. Link smiled and explained his plan to Wei Wei. Although now that he has shared the ability of Chen Long's adventure link, with Link's current strength, he should not have to worry about Crocodile at all. But in the world of pirates, especially as a navy, Link feels that it is better to hide his strength if possible. He doesn't want to be commanded by those celestial dragons at that time. For Link, the best plan now is to let Luffy and others kill Crocodile directly according to the original work, and he only needs to go and pick up the credit. But considering that Crocodile may not be killed by Luffy with a plot like in the original work, therefore, he also specially prepared to take Smoker to Alabasta to fight Crocodile. By the way, see whether the haze is strong or the sandstorm is strong. Although Smoker's record in high-end games is indeed very poor, the battle with Crocodile should only be regarded as half a high-end game. Although Crocodile in Alabasta had developed his fruit ability to perfection, he had obvious shortcomings in terms of domineering. Smoker should be able to deal with it, right? Link thought silently in his heart. Letting Smoker deal with Crocodile is his second plan. Admittedly, this approach will give Smoker some credit, but Link is not worried that Smoker can take too much. The so-called credit is not the more you do, the more you get, but the more good the report, the more credit you get. Smoker, that guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, can't write a report at all, and he certainly can't compete with him for credit. Anyway, Smoker doesn't care about the size of his so-called military rank. In this case, the pain of promotion and salary increase should be borne by him, Link. After hearing Link's arrangements and promises, Vivi's eyes were slightly red, and she cried with joy, "Thank you, Lord Link." "You're welcome," Link responded with a smile. "It's okay, everything is for justice." Rogue Town. Colonel Smoker, Colonel Link asked us to come over. He has a private job for us. Tashigi reported to Smoker with a naval telegram in her hand. Link, does that guy think we are his white gloves? He even wants to order me to work. Smoker, who insists on smoking every day, put down the fitness equipment in his hand and spit out a big puff of smoke viciously. Thanks to Link's 153rd branch chasing pirates on a large scale in the East China Sea, Smoker, who used to see a wave of pirates every 3 to 5 days, has nothing to do. He can only be a street urchin in Rogue Town all day. Colonel Smoker, Colonel Link said this is a very important private matter. As long as it is a private matter, I will not help. Even if he has a good relationship with Link, it does not mean that the other party can do whatever he wants to him. He even wants to order him to do private work. Tashigi glanced at the telegram in her hand again and asked again, "So, Colonel Smoker wants me to reject him?" "No, this kid knows my character. If it's purely a private matter, he will definitely not come to me." Smoker shook his head. He scolded Link, but Smoker knew that Link was very familiar with him. Since the other party chose to send him such a telegram, it means that in Link's eyes, he would agree to his request. "Tell me, what is the private work? It seems that a country called Alabasta in the Grand Line was spied on by Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Crocodile intends to overthrow the regime of this country, and Colonel Link wants to invite us to help save that country." Tashigi repeated the telegram sent by Link in detail. "What? Crocodile?" When Smoker heard Tashigi say this name, his face suddenly changed. He even suspected that he had heard it wrong. The 7 warlords of the sea sent by the world government actually intended to overthrow the regime of a member country of the world government. I've said long ago that asking the 7 warlords of the sea to check and balance pirates is like asking bandits to enter the village. But the high-ranking officers of the Navy and the pig brains of the world government just don't believe it. Wait, is what Link said true? Is there any evidence? Smoker's face was ugly, and the next moment he exhaled smoke that instantly enveloped the entire Navy branch. This smoke can definitely block the sound from flowing out, so as to prevent outsiders from hearing the conversation between the two. Colonel Link said there is no evidence, so he can't report it to the Navy headquarters. He can only find us to go to Alabasta to collect evidence on the grounds of private matters. But what if we meet Crocodile? Smoker's face turned black instantly. It is true that in the world of pirates, everyone is stubborn, and Smoker is no exception. If what Link said is true, then he will indeed fight Crocodile. But daring to fight Crocodile does not mean that Smoker is not aware of the gap in strength between himself and the 7 warlords of the sea. The 7 warlords of the sea are the great pirates recognized by the world government, and each of them is at the top of the world. Smoker didn't think he could win for sure. He even felt that he was good enough to delay the opponent's actions. Colonel Link said that Crocodile is a pirate who focuses on developing fruit abilities, and his hockey level is very low. So he thinks that Colonel Smoker should be able to deal with him. Tashigi continued to repeat the information about Crocodile given by Link. What? Low hockey level? Hearing this, Smoker's eyes lit up. Talking about this, he was no longer sleepy. His smoke fruit is completely inferior to other natural fruits in terms of power, and can only expand his attack distance and range at most. If the enemy is good at armed color hockey, then his fruit ability will turn himself into a huge target, allowing the opponent to slaughter him. But if the enemy is not good at hockey, then his fruit ability defects can be covered up. In this way, Smoker has the confidence to fight the opponent on equal terms. I understand, Tashigi, remember to bring your Den Mushi. If you encounter that sand crocodile, call the Navy headquarters for support as soon as possible. We will go to meet Link now. Thanks to the use of smoke as energy for spraying, the speed of Smoker's warships is quite good. When the sun was high at noon, they arrived at the 153rd branch under Link. Smoker, you are finally here. Link's eyes lit up when he saw Smoker's figure. Isn't this a cannon? Smoker, the powerful Navy captain. As long as the other party is willing to show up, then the next candidate for the battle against Crocodile will be there, and he doesn't need to do it himself. Link, when are we leaving? You know, Alabasta is on the Grand Line, and it will take us a long time to get there. Out of trust in Link, Smoker did not ask Link how the other party knew that Crocodile wanted to overthrow Alabasta, but directly asked when to leave. Link explained, let's go now. I've asked Luffy and the others to go to Alabasta in advance, hoping they can delay Crocodile's actions. Your black-gloved straw hat guy and the others. The strength of those guys is pretty good in the East China Sea, but it's still too difficult to fight Crocodile of the King's Shichibukai. Quote. Smoker frowned slightly. He had cooperated with Luffy and others before when they were encircling and suppressing the dragon pirates. Based on the strength of Straw Hat Luffy, calculated according to the conventional bounty, it is at the level of 30 million to 50 million. Did Link underestimate the Shichibukai King a little too much, and actually thought that Straw Hat Luffy could delay Crocodile's actions? Don't worry, Straw Hat and the others won't be defeated that easily. They are very tenacious. Link said casually, perhaps by the time we get there, we can bring back the defeated Crocodile. Smoker. Regarding Link's wishful thinking, Smoker didn't know whether he should say it was because he was naturally optimistic, or whether he needed to go to the hospital to have his brain checked. Luffy can defeat Crocodile with his strength, so why not say that he can directly kill the Yonko of the New World? If nothing else, just move all the things you need onto the boat. The people and items on my side have been prepared. Do you have any other helpers? Smoker asked with a frown. Of course, we have to face the King Shichibukai this time. Naturally, we have to be more cautious, so I specially asked Kushiro, the swordsmanship instructor of our branch 153. As Link was talking, an uncle with squinting eyes appeared in front of Smoker. I met Colonel Smoker in Sha Shuangyu Kushiro. Hello, Smoker responded to Kushiro while looking him up and down. No matter from the appearance or the momentum, Smoker couldn't feel how powerful the opponent was. But since Link specially brought the other party with him, it means that Link should have considerable trust in him, and Smoker can only choose to trust him. Dasichi, we are ready to leave. Hurry up and move the supplies to Link's ship. Smoker shouted to the top of his warship. Clear. A familiar voice sounded. Hearing this voice, Kushiro suddenly shook his hands and looked over. Dasuki also waved to Link and others at the right time. Is this person? The moment he saw Dusky's face clearly, Kushiro's pupils shrank. Picture. So similar. If he hadn't buried Guina himself, he almost thought it was Guina who was resurrected. Smoker looked at Kushiro and asked slowly, Sir, do you have any objections to my subordinates? He could see Kushiro's expression just now. He is already an old man, but he is still staring at a young girl in broad daylight. Even if the opponent's strength may be good, there is also a problem with his character. Thinking of this, Smoker silently distanced himself from Kushiro with a look of disgust. No, nothing, it's just that your subordinate is very similar to my former friend. Kushiro didn't notice Smoker's disgusted expression. His attention was drawn away by Dasuki. This girl was 99% similar to his daughter Kuina, making him unable to help but fall into memories. Dasuki, please move quickly, the people of Alabasta won't be able to wait that long for us. Smoker's face suddenly darkened when he saw that Kushiro was still, unchangeable, and staring straight at Dashi. After reminding Dasuki, he simply went to find Link. What's wrong, Colonel Smoker? Link greeted with a smile. Colonel Link, please take care of your men. The kendo instructor named Kushiro often stares at Dasuki. Smoker said matter-of-factly. Is that so? A strange look flashed across Link's face. Having read the original work, he could naturally guess that the reason why Kushiro kept looking at Tatsuki was because Toshiki looked quite similar to his deceased daughter. But Smoker didn't know this, and it wasn't easy for him to explain. After thinking for a moment, Link agreed righteously, "Don't worry, Colonel Smoker. I will definitely discipline him well." After saying that, he immediately found Kushiro and explained the situation to him. "Mr. Kushiro, Colonel Smoker told me that you seem to be very concerned about Captain Dasky. Can you tell me why?" Hearing Link's question, Kushiro was confused for a moment. "I don't know how to explain it." "Oh, I understand. Do you feel that Dasky's talent is quite good and you want to accept her as your disciple?" Before Kushiro could come up with an excuse, Link was the first to speak up and give him an excuse. Sir, you are right. I really think that girl is very talented and want to accept her as my disciple." After having a conversation with Kushiro and Smoker and letting Koshiro show off his skills for a while, Smoker agreed to let Koshiro teach Dashi swordsmanship. Then Link took everyone on the warship and sailed towards Alabasta. What they didn't know was that there were several members of the Baroque Working Society outside the Navy Branch 153 watching all this silently. And this information was passed back to the headquarters in Alabasta through the phone bug. Alabasta, Rainland Casino, Crocodile's lair. Crocodile looked extremely ugly and crumpled the documents in his hand into a ball. After losing contact with the hunter's lair on Whiskey Peak, he immediately dispatched an intelligence team to investigate the situation. Then he discovered that it was a group of pirates who had just set out to sea and took over the entire hunter's lair in one fell swoop. Originally, Crocodile didn't take this matter seriously. Just think that the hunter's den is unlucky and encounters difficulties. It's just that the Baroque working group has lost an income point. But after the subsequent intelligence team conducted an investigation into the situation of the pirate group and the hunter's lair, Crocodile started to sweat a little. That pirate group turned out to be the Black Gloves of a new star navy in the East China Sea. And Princess Weiwei of Alabasta sneaked into Baroque Works and discovered his true identity. All the members of Whiskey Peak were arrested, and even Mr. Five and Mr. Valentine failed. And the pirate group that attacked Whiskey Peak turned out to be the Navy's Black Gloves. Then what we want to do has been exposed to the Navy. Crocodile complained to a dark-skinned, tall and hot woman next to him. "Boss, the situation is not that bad." Nico Robin's voice echoed through the room. "The agents from the East China Sea sent information. The naval superior of the pirate group, Link, just invited one of his colleagues, Smoker, to come to Alabasta and did not report the situation to the Navy headquarters. Does this mean that the terrifying combat forces of the Navy headquarters will not come over?" Crocodile stood up happily. What he feared most was that after the other party learned about the incident, he reported it directly to the Navy headquarters. If the Navy headquarters directly sends the general and the demon-slaying order, he will be finished. But if there were just two rural Navy sailors from the East China Sea, how could they be the opponents of His Majestic Shichibukai Crocodile? "Yes, boss. According to the news from the agents, it seems that it is because Princess Vivi does not have solid evidence on hand that you intend to subvert Alabasta. Without enough evidence, Colonel Link could not report it to the Navy headquarters, so he had to come to Alabasta to collect evidence." Quote. Robin explained slowly. "Very good. As long as the people from the Navy headquarters don't come, the rest will be rotten fish and shrimps. But just in case, take Mr. One and Miss with both hands to intercept their movements as much as possible. Don't let that group of Navy come over so quickly. I will also speed up the pace and ask them to hand over the historical text as soon as possible, and then find Hades." Crocodile spoke quietly. Since the last defeat of the Whitebeard pirates, Crocodile has wanted to come back with revenge all the time. But because Whitebeard is too powerful, even if he can cultivate the fruit to the awakening state and raise his domineering power to its peak, he may not be able to take advantage of the opponent. As a result, Crocodile could only place his hope of defeating the opponent on external forces, namely, Pluto, one of the three legendary ancient weapons. He deliberately established the Baroque Working Society and recruited Nicole Robin, who knew ancient writing, in order to get this Hades. "Okay, I will now tell Mr. One and Miss to leave as soon as possible to stop the Navy." Robin replied quickly, then turned and left. Looking at Robin's leaving figure, Crocodile's eyes became cold. In fact, in his mind, the moment Robin finished translating the historical text and helped him find Hades was the moment when the other party died. After all, the name Son of the Devil did not come from Hai Feng. In the past 20 years, every boss of the Son of the Devil has been betrayed by the Son of the Devil. Even though Crocodile thought that it was pretty good and that all the benefits should be provided, he still had no confidence in taking it back. A bomb placed next to you who doesn't know when it will explode. If it wasn't still useful, it would have been dealt with by Crocodile long ago. Pluto, I hope I can get you smoothly. Although Link himself has lived in the pirate world for a long time, this is his first time traveling to the Grand Line. To be honest, the sailing experience of the Grand Line is much more wonderful than that of the East China Sea. Due to the unique climate of each island, it is possible to experience various extreme weather conditions such as light rain, scorching sun, dense fog, and snowstorms even on the same day. Therefore, the sailing speed of their warships was inevitably slowed down, and it was not until 3 days later that they reached Whiskey Peak. Brother Link, you are finally here, have you brought your money? Seeing the dragon-headed navy ship, Nami with a bright smile and Zoro with a bad face trotted over. Because he needed to complete 2 tasks at the same time, handing over the captured wanted criminal to Link and going to Alabasta to stop Crocodile. Therefore, the Straw Hat Pirates are also divided into 2 groups. Luffy, Sanji, Usopp and others have gone to Alabasta to help Vivi stop Crocodile. Nami and Zoro stayed at Whiskey Peak, waiting for Link's arrival and the handover of the criminals. That's natural, so these 2 guys are Mr. 5, Miss Valentine. After comparing the wanted posters, Link readily paid the bounty to Nami. Thank you, Brother Link. You don't know how miserable Zoro and I are in Whiskey Mountain. We already finished all the food on the island yesterday. If you hadn't finally come, we wouldn't know what we would have done. Quote. As soon as she saw Link, Nami leaned next to Link and started to vomit her bitterness. It seemed that he was blaming that it was because of Link that he was living such a miserable life. However, the next moment, a beautiful goddess with short blue hair unknowingly took out a wallet from her body. Nami, although you are having a hard time, there is no need to steal Lord Link's wallet, right? Stealing the Navy's property is a serious crime. Be careful, I will arrest you. Sister, why are you here? After seeing the appearance of the person clearly, Nami had a look of surprise on her face. As you can see, I'm a Marine now. Nuo Chigao pointed to the Navy uniform on her body, smiled slightly and said, and my number is still Belmir's number. Do you want to join the Navy with me? I'm not interested, and what I said is true. If you don't believe me, you can ask Sauron, right? Nami turned away and snorted coldly. She was about to pull Zoro up and continue talking, but she saw Zoro looking at a man with narrowed eyes with a dull look on his face. Zarin. Nami called Zoro tentatively a few more times, but there was still no response. Thinking of the way the other person looked at the man with narrowed eyes, an idea suddenly came to Nami's mind. Isn't Soren's taste so unique? While Nami was thinking, Zoro said with surprise, Master, why are you here? Zoro was quite surprised by Kushiro's appearance. After all, he knew quite a bit about his teacher's character. High emotional intelligence. Kushiro likes peace and quiet. Low EQ. Kushiro is a homebody who rarely goes out on weekdays. But now he saw his teacher at Whiskey Peak on the Grand Route. Could it be that the teacher missed him and was worried that he would not be doing well outside, so he came here to see him? Thinking of this, Zoro's eyes turned slightly red, as if tears were about to fall. Zarin, how are you doing recently? Looking at Zoro who was almost crying in front of him, Kushiro smiled and said hello, but then his eyes fell on the saber on Zoro's body, Wado Ikimanji to be precise. Ever since Kuina died, this little Zoro has come to ask for this knife. At first, he thought that the other party was really talented and that sentence that led Kuina to become the world's greatest swordsman moved him. As a result, Kushiro himself entrusted Wado Ichiman to the other party by some strange means. Originally this was nothing. Anyway, he usually stays at the dojo, and there is no chance to use the words of Hidao Yimo. But now he has accepted Dasuki as his disciple, but he hasn't given her the apprenticeship ceremony yet, and he doesn't have any good weapons. Isn't this a little unreasonable? Kushiro thought silently. Ever since, Kushiro set his sights on the word Wado on Zoro. Isn't this knife a good apprenticeship ceremony? Ahem, cough, cough, Zoro, our master and apprentice haven't seen each other for a long time. Do you want to have a few drinks together? Okay, master. Facing the master's invitation, Sauron chose to agree without hesitation. He picked up a barrel of wine and went to the room to drink with Kushiro. After drinking for 3 rounds, Kushiro suddenly coughed a few times when he saw Zoro looking happy. Hearing Kushiro's cough, Zoro remembered the past. When he was a child, whenever his master coughed, it meant that he had something to talk to him about. Master, if you need any help, just tell me and I will never delay. Zoro said righteously. His master taught him so many sword skills. Now that the other party may want something from him, it is absolutely impossible for him to refuse. Zarin, you have grown up. Hearing Zoro's words, Kushiro showed a pleased expression. In that case, I will make it clear to you as a teacher. The master has just accepted Dasuke as his disciple, and has not given him the apprenticeship ceremony yet. So, I want you to give up the word Hidao to your junior sister Dasuke. How do you feel? Quote. Zoro. In the end, Zoro still did not give Wado Ikimonji to Tashigi. This was also Dashigi's own wish. After hearing about Kuina's deeds, she thought that Wado Ikimonji should belong to the person who was more likely to reach the top of the world's swordsman. She did not want to get it by giving it up, but after her strength could really defeat Zoro, she would own Wado Ikimonji as the stronger person. Zoro and Koshiro both chose to agree with Dashigi's idea. Zoro's idea was similar to Dashigi's. If he really couldn't beat Dashigi at that time, he would not be qualified to carry Kuina's will. Koshiro was lamenting that Dashigi not only looked like his daughter Kuina, but even her personality seemed to be carved out of the same mold. In short, under such an agreement, everyone began to implement a strict kendo training plan. At least 10 hours of training a day. Not only did no one complain of being tired, but they all complained that they were too lazy. In this environment of the King of Rolls, even Link couldn't help but practice a few swordsmanship. But compared to the swordsmanship geniuses like Dashigi and Zoro, who are 1 in a million. Although Link shared many of Link's talents, his talents can only be regarded as a small genius level, which is far from his physical talent. So, Link decisively gave up wasting all his time on swordsmanship and focused on protecting his own fat. During this period, Link had a phone call with Vivi to synchronize information. For some reason, Crocodile did not choose to send people to stop him like in the original book, as if he was completely unaware that the other party was rushing towards Alabasta. This led to Luffy and others' journey to Alabasta being quite smooth. The other party has successfully landed in Alabasta and began to investigate the evidence of Crocodile's crimes. Grand Line. Although Link and others set off much later than Luffy and others, because the speed of the Navy warship was much faster than that of the Mary, they only had 1 day left to reach Alabasta. Because they needed to be refreshed for the subsequent battles, the people on the ship who had been training crazily before took a rare break today and had a good sleep to refresh themselves. The task of keeping watch was naturally given to Link, who had been doing nothing in the past few days and slept all day long. What a trouble. If I had known, I wouldn't have slept so hard in the past few days. Link was yawning and waving a wooden sword to kill time. At this moment, a strange ship suddenly entered the alert range of Link's observation hockey. Is there a ship approaching our Navy warship? There are a total of hundreds of people on that ship. The aura of the members on the ship is much stronger than that of ordinary people. 3 of them have reached the level of pirates with a bounty of tens of millions. Could it be that Crocodile didn't want us to reach Alabasta so easily, so he sent someone to kill us? Link showed a helpless expression on his face. This level of battle is simply bullying a child for him, and he really has no interest in it. And he didn't forget the useless persona he had to maintain. It just so happens that both Tashigi and Zoro have grown a lot recently, so let them practice. So, Link shouted towards the cabin. Young men, get up, there is work to do. Mr. One Boss, Miss Two Finger Boss, the dragon-headed warship in front is the ship of Colonel Link. On an ordinary ship, the crew excitedly reported to a bald strong man and a lady with an afro. The two of them are Mr. 1 Das Bonus, the chief commander of Baroque Works, and Miss Two-Finger Pola. Especially Mr. 1 Das Bonus, nicknamed Slasher, is said to be the nemesis of swordsmen. There are not 1,000 swordsmen who died in his hands, but hundreds, and there are many swordsmen with bounties of over 10 million. They are extremely powerful in the first half of the entire Grand Line. However, this is only limited to the first half of the Grand Line. Like their boss Crocodile, the two of them are not good at domineering, and it can even be said that they don't know the existence of domineering. Listen to me, you two, our goal this time is not to fight the opponent head-on, but to destroy the Navy warship. Nico Robin said solemnly. Unlike the ordinary Baroque Works, which has almost blind trust in the two, Nico Robin still maintains absolute vigilance. She knows that there is a natural fruit ability user smoker on the ship. If Das Bonus is an absolute expert in the first half of the Grand Line, then the natural fruit ability user is a pure invincible existence in the first half of the Grand Line. The only way is to directly destroy their ship and let it fall into the sea, then their plan will be successful. Miss, is your plan a bit too cruel? I don't think we have offended you much. As soon as Robin finished speaking, a rather frivolous male voice came from behind her. The members of the Baroque workshop turned around and saw that a wooden sword was pressed against Robin's neck. They all looked in disbelief. How did this guy get to our ship? Is he a person with special abilities? But did he take the wrong sword? How could it be a wooden sword? Hearing the discussion of the members of the Baroque Works Club around him, Link said helplessly, "Shouldn't you worry about the safety of the hostage I held hostage now? If you want her to live, please surrender immediately, so that you can avoid some physical pain." Before Link finished speaking, Mr. 1 immediately interrupted him rudely with a cold voice. "Stop talking nonsense, you held her hostage, not me." As soon as the voice fell, Mr. 1's body suddenly grew a series of blades emitting cold light and attacked Link. "Die, just relying on your toy wooden sword, you can't resist my ability." Mr. 1's legs burst out with extreme strength, stepping on the iron deck of the ship to create a huge dent. The terrifying sharp energy continued to emanate from Mr. 1's body like a tide, and his arm suddenly turned into a huge blade. Destroying slash. A series of radial slashes attacked Link. Faced with this extraordinary attack, Link just yawned and raised the wooden sword in his hand. "You are looking for death, and you want to stop me with a wooden sword." Seeing Link's expression that he didn't take him seriously at all, Mr. 1 was furious, and the strength in his hand was even heavier than usual. The next moment, Mr. 1's blade chopped Link's wooden sword firmly, making a harsh roar. However, what happened next was not what Mr. 1 imagined. The blade of his body easily cut through the wooden sword, and then pierced Link's chest. His concentrated and full-strength attack was easily blocked by Link with a wooden sword. Not bad. The power of your move just now is almost at the level of billion-level combat power. You can complete the upgrade in battle. It seems that you have some potential. But there is still a gap between you and the cheaters who have awakened the 1-stick Ryuo, 2-stick Tyrant, and 3-stick Fruit. Link commented casually. In the world of One Piece, it is not uncommon to break through in battle. As the saying goes, the more you are forced into a desperate situation, the more you can exert your strength. Not to mention the protagonists of the original work, even Law and Kid have examples of breaking through in battle. So Mr. 1's anger and short burst of billion-level combat power did not surprise Link. Anyway, for him, Mr. 1's improvement is just the level of a weak ant turning into a strong ant. Okay, Mr. 1, your fruit ability is a good whetstone, don't waste it. It's not me who will fight you next, they are approaching now. Whether I can get a promotion and a raise and become a Vice Admiral of the Navy headquarters depends on you. After a simple fight with Mr. 1, Link waved his hand to indicate that he didn't want to continue fighting. Who told you to stand? You just stay where you are and wait for people to come. As Link's voice fell, the next moment, a terrifying aura like a mountain suddenly erupted from his body. Although Link's tone was not heavy and his voice was very small, everyone present felt a huge pressure being exerted on their hearts. Many members of Baroque Works felt that their spirits seemed to have suffered a huge impact, and they immediately foamed at the mouth and lost consciousness. And they were just on the edge of Link's domineering, and Mr. 1 was at the center of his domineering at this moment. What kind of move is this? Mr. One was gritting his teeth at this moment, trying to support his knees from kneeling down. He didn't understand what Link had done. He just felt as if a huge force was pressing on him, making him unable to straighten his back. And this force seemed to be increasing continuously. Puff! The next moment, blood spurted out of Mr. One's knees, and he finally couldn't resist Link's domineering aura and knelt down completely. That's right. Seeing Mr. One's performance, Link smiled with satisfaction. Mr. One's fruit ability is a very good tool for kendo quality inspection. In short, the swordsman who can cut off Mr. One's body has entered the level of a swordsman. This can be regarded as an opportunity to test Zoro's recent training. As for Tashigi, admittedly, her strength has improved a lot, but her foundation is still a little poor, so it is more appropriate to use Mrs. Fingers. Link was thinking, and soon he saw the anger in Mr. One's eyes again. I couldn't help but think to myself, did I go too far? If Mr. One is asked to be Zoro's sparring partner, he shouldn't be so angry that his strength rises to another level, right? If that's the case, Zoro will be a real unlucky guy. Mr. One's arm turned into a sharp blade and he looked at the green algae head in front of him with murderous eyes. In his mind, he was recalling the scene that had just happened. Just now, Link made everyone on the ship lose their fighting power with just his momentum. Then it was obvious that the difference in strength between him and Link was probably greater than the difference in strength between an ant and a tiger. Originally, Mr. One thought that he would be killed directly by Link. But the other party gave him a chance to leave. As long as he defeated a swordsman he sent, he could leave here. Mr. One understood what the other party wanted to do. His fruit ability is the best test tool for swordsmen. As long as he can break through his defense, it is equivalent to breaking through to the level of swordsman. According to the bounty, it is basically a strength of about 100 million. Do you want to use me as a whetstone? I can't beat Link, that monster, can I beat a mere ordinary swordsman? Mr. One was angry and had to vent it on the green algae head in front of him. What is this guy doing? Why is he looking at me like that? Zoro looked at Mr. One, who looked like he was going to eat him, and couldn't help but mutter in his heart. However, the opponent's strength should be good. Neither Link nor the master seemed to think that I could defeat him. If you can't beat him, you can surrender. At most, I can practice for a few more years. HMPH, this clumsy provocation is a bit too much of an underestimation of me. Betting on the dignity of a swordsman, I will definitely win this time. After the enlightenment, after the encounter with East China Sea and Hawkeye and so many days of practice, Zoro's strength, speed, and even swordsmanship have been improved. Even if the opponent's fruit ability may have a considerable restraint on the swordsman, he still thinks he can do it. Then use that move to kill him. Zoro showed a determined look. After the battle with Hawkeye, he understood the gap between himself and the world's top swordsman. It turned out that he had been sitting in a well and watching the world. So, after that battle, he had a direction to move forward again. In addition to basic training every day, he also optimized his various moves. Now his strongest three-sword style move has become even stronger. The two swords in Zoro's hands began to spin like a windmill. Everyone present could feel a hurricane, and at the same time, Zoro's sword shadow seemed to escape into the wind. The secret of the three-sword style, 3,000 worlds. The next moment, three sword lights passed through the air and chopped Mr. One firmly, but Mr. One's body did not move at all. Huh, Zoro looked at Mr. One in shock, and then he exerted force again as if he did not believe in evil, but the three swords in his hands still could not break the opponent's defense. Did this stupid boy forget what I taught him before? Koshiro looked at this scene with a helpless look on his face. Mr. One is a person with the ability to eat the quick-cut fruit, and can turn any part of his body into a blade according to his will. In other words, the opponent's body is as hard as steel. Unless the power reaches a terrifying level, it is impossible to break the opponent's defense with brute force alone. Unless Zoro has comprehended the breadth of all things, there is no way he can break Mr. One's defense. Link nodded and agreed. This breadth of all things is the sign that the swordsman has entered the cutting iron stage, and it is also the key point why swordsmen are listed as T0 professions with a higher performance than snipers and ordinary fighters in the pirate world. In this world, stones have the breath of stones, flames have the breath of flames, and iron has the breath of iron. As long as the swordsman can master the breath of all things, then this swordsman is theoretically in a state where nothing can be cut. In terms of destructive power alone, no other profession can match it. In the original work, Zoro was able to break Kaido's defense without comprehending the entanglement of the domineering color, relying only on his swordsmanship, the blessing of the armed color domineering and the famous sword. The strength of this breath of all things can be seen. The reason why Link asked Zoro to face Mr. One was that he hoped that he could comprehend this ability as soon as possible. Only in this way can Zoro's strength be regarded as entering the stage of swordsmanship. From then on, Koshiro will begin to teach Zoro how to use armament haki. You're done attacking. Then it's my turn. Unlike Zoro's face full of shock, Mr. One's face did not show any emotional fluctuations about the development of this matter. In his career as a killer, he has seen too many swordsmen show such an expression when they cut him with swords. It is precisely because of this that Mr. One compares himself to the nemesis of swordsmen. I can feel that you are a very powerful swordsman, but I have to say that you can only stop here. Mr. One spoke slowly. Dust-cutting speed knife. Mr. One's soles turned into blades and slid forward like skates. Then his fingers turned into blades and slashed towards Zoro. Because his physique is equivalent to steel, Mr. One's fighting style is completely equivalent to that of a berserker, and he can attack Zoro without leaving any spare energy. Facing Zoro's slash, Mr. One didn't even blink, and let Zoro's sword cut into him, making a sound of metal clashing. And his hand knife cut through Zoro's flesh and blood, and a large area of blood splashed. Are you going to lose? Every time he swung his knife, Zoro's heart fell to the bottom of the valley. His slashing could not cut through the defense of the person in front of him. Can he become the world's strongest swordsman? Zoro, do you still remember what your teacher once said about a kind of swordsman in the world who can cut everything but can't cut anything? At this moment, Koshiro suddenly shouted to Zoro from the side. Teacher. It was these words that reminded Zoro of the teachings he had received that afternoon when he practiced kendo with Koshiro. In the process of his own blood constantly flowing out, Zoro did not feel dizzy like ordinary people because of excessive blood loss. On the contrary, his perception of the surrounding things has been further improved. When he was a child, he heard that there was a kind of swordsman in the world who could cut steel and didn't believe it at all, so he went to Koshiro to ask if it was true. At that time, Koshiro gave him a positive answer, and took out a piece of paper and swung his sword to cut it, but the paper was unscathed. Originally, Zoro thought that his master was just playing tricks, but Koshiro's next words made him realize something. The so-called strongest sword is to protect what you want to protect and cut off the power of what you want to cut off. Thinking of this, Zoro suddenly closed his eyes. Did you dare to close your eyes in the battle with me? Mr. One didn't know what Zoro was thinking at the moment. He only knew that only if he defeated Zoro this time would he have the opportunity to go back and serve that adult. Spiral slash. Aikidori ii shishijej. The figures of both sides flashed by each other alternately. Puff. The next moment, a large amount of blood spurted out of their bodies. In the end, Zoro fell to the ground first. The previous battle had already caused him to be extremely injured. Mr. One's last blow was directly slashed at his old wound. Even if he was an Iron Man, he couldn't stand so much blood. I won. Mr. One spat out a mouthful of blood, and his breathing rhythm was much more chaotic than before. However, even though his condition was so bad, his face was full of joy. Congratulations, Mr. One. Link clapped his hands to celebrate for Mr. One. At this moment, Mr. One had no time to care about Link, but focused on the battle between Dashigi and his partner Miss Two Fingers. Unlike Zoro, who fought with him almost to the last moment, the battle between Dashigi and Miss Two Fingers was one-sided. After only a few dozen moves, Miss Two Fingers was defeated by Dashigi and finally killed by Link. It's a pity that the fruit was not extracted. It seems that this method is not 100% effective. Link looked at the ordinary fruit in his hand and muttered to himself. After confirming that there was a setting in the pirate world that the devil fruit could be reborn nearby, Link had the habit of carrying ordinary fruits with him. However, if this method is not supported by special means, it only increases the success rate of obtaining the devil fruit, not 100%. In Link's impression, the only person who can 100% successfully plunder the fruit ability of the ability user seems to be Blackbeard, who obtained the dark fruit. But that seems to be due to the special nature of the dark fruit, rather than some ordinary means that can be copied in batches. The opponent's dark fruit seems to have the ability to absorb everything, including bullets, blades, attacks, flames and lightning, as well as any physical or energy attacks. Among them, it even includes the ability to invalidate the rest of the devil fruits after close contact. In particular, the dark fruit and the Nika fruit are the only two fruits in the original book that have the host's choice. For such a special fruit, it is not surprising to add a setting that can completely take out the power of the devil fruit. Then I'm leaving. Mr. One looked at Link with a vigilant look. Link waved his hand and looked indifferent, and it seemed that he really had no desire to take action. Seeing the other party like this, Mr. One relaxed a little, jumped onto a small boat immediately, and without caring about anything else, he took the oar and sailed quickly towards the distance. Are you sure you want to let him go? Koshiro looked at Link with a puzzled look and asked. I am a man of integrity, so I will naturally let him go, but I never said that Smoker can't chase him. Link didn't continue, but gave Smoker beside him a look. Smoker immediately understood what Link meant, and his face turned black and he exhaled a puff of smoke. I'll take care of it. The next moment, he turned into a ball of smoke and chased in the direction where Mr. One left. And Link then turned his head to look at the trembling Robin, showing a gentle smile. Miss, I have something to talk to you about. Of course, those who can row a boat cannot run as well as those who can fly. In addition, Mr. One does not know how to use armament hockey at all, and his attacks cannot cause any damage to Smoker, the natural fruit ability user. After a while, Smoker flew back. When Smoker brought Mr. One's body over, the face of the black-skinned royal sister Robin was filled with resignation and calmness. Her strength is not as good as Mr. One, so there is no possibility of escape. Mom, everyone, can we finally go see you? Robin's face was filled with indescribable calm. After hiding around the world for so many years, Robin thought he was quite precious about his life. But when she actually faced death, she felt inexplicably calm, as if she had known there would be such a result. If you want to kill me, then do it quickly. Robin slowly closed his eyes, and tears flowed down his face. However, the butcher's knife she expected did not fall as she imagined. Instead, Link released the handcuffs. Are you Miss All Sunday? Link took the initiative to chat with Robin. At the same time, he waved his hand and asked the rest of the people present to leave, giving them a space to be alone. Link's behavior also surprised her. Because Link acted like a cold guy before, whether it was Mr. One or Miss Two Fingers, he was able to deal with them. Such a person could still find her to talk to. Could it be that he wanted to squeeze out the remaining value of her before she died? Robin suddenly thought of what Link had told Mr. One earlier: if the other party defeated the green algae head, then he will let Mr. One leave. In the end, he did let go, but Smoker next to him took action. I am, so do you need me to help you with anything? Robin asked calmly. If she guessed correctly, the reason why Link didn't kill her meant that she must have something that the other party needed. But she doesn't want to die just yet. Even if it means dying a little later, it would be better. Give you a chance to live, are you willing to do it? Link asked Robin straight to the point. It's this kind of talk again. Haven't you said similar words to Mr. One? Robin smiled helplessly. I do. Even if he knew that the other party was a guy who broke his promises, Robin could only answer like this. She must see the text of history with her own eyes before she dies. You agreed so quickly. Hearing Robin's decisive answer, even Link was a little surprised. Maybe my charm has reached the point where the other party can nod in agreement without even saying anything. Sir Link, I still want to live. In order to survive, I am willing to pay any price. Robin said decisively. The reason why she was able to live like a rat in the gutter for so long was partly due to her mother's wish, but also her desire for real history was her motivation to live. Now she is only one step away from the text of Alabasta's history. Of course she doesn't want to die. Okay, I'm just waiting for your words. If I remember correctly, you should be Crocodile's secretary, right? With that guy's cautious personality, he should even have conversations with his subordinates through you, right? In this case, you should have a lot of Crocodile's criminal evidence in your hands. I hope you can hand over this evidence to me. Link said slowly. I have to admit that Crocodile is indeed cautious enough. Not only would he rarely appear in public in front of agents, but he would also avoid using any written documents that might reveal his special accent or font, instead letting Robin convey it orally. The result of this is that Crocodile did almost perfectly hide his identity from the internal members of the Baroque Working Society. But the price is that everything Crocodile has done is recorded here. As long as Robin chooses to betray, everything Crocodile does will fall into Link's hands. Are you asking me to betray you again? Robin laughed at himself, and then continued. Sir Link, I can give you the evidence of Crocodile's crime, but in order to ensure that you will not kill me like you used Mr. 1. I am only willing to hand over the criminal evidence to you after I have completed what I want to do. Quote. Robin simply does not believe in the choice given by Link. The example of Mr. 1 is the best proof. As for Robin's request, Link didn't seem to feel any surprise. A Robin who has been struggling in the dark world for so many years is not a fool. Whatever you say, you believe. Miss Alsunday, it seems that you are also a smart person, but your conditions are not easy to handle. Robin was relieved when Link expressed his desire to talk. As long as you don't get angry and kill yourself directly, it means there is still room for maneuver. Sir Link, I am also willing to serve as an undercover agent to hinder Crocodile's plan to steal the country. Robin revealed his bargaining chip. Link narrowed his eyes, and an oppressive aura locked onto Robin. Oh, but this time your operation was a big failure. Will your boss never suspect you of betrayal? If you guessed it correctly, Mr. 1 and Miss Two Fingers should be considered the top combat power of your criminal company, right? Quote. Robin swallowed. Yes, it is undeniable that the big failure of this operation will definitely make the boss doubt me. But he couldn't bear the cost of doubting me, so he had no choice but to believe me. Quote. Not to mention that she had Crocodile's criminal evidence. She is the most important part in the implementation of Crocodile's plan. His plan was never just to steal the country, but to obtain Hades by translating the historical text of Alabasta's underground. If you want to translate historical text, Robin's ability is naturally indispensable. This is why Robin said that even if Crocodile doubted her, he could only choose to believe it. After all, if he doesn't believe in Robin, then he will never get Hades. It was like an economic fraud. I had already foreseen that it was a scam, but all the money had already been spent. If you can't continue to invest bravely, all the previous investments will be in vain. Link nodded, acknowledging Robin's words. He then asked, so what is it that you must accomplish? Robin. Sir Link, forgive me for not telling you this purpose. It's my secret. It is an unspeakable taboo for the world government, the navy, the historical texts and the 3 ancient weapons. If she dared to say that she was looking for the historical text, wouldn't she be directly punished by Link? However, what she didn't expect at all was that the next moment Link said in an extremely calm tone, Miss Robin, if I guess correctly, the goal you mentioned is to obtain the historical text of Alabasta, right? What? Do you know my identity and my purpose? Robin's pupils tightened. She had no idea that her identity had been exposed. It was obvious that the other party had been calling her Miss All Sunday before, but now the other party suddenly called her by her real name. This means that all of his plans are part of Link's plan. But that's not right. Link is a Marine. From the Navy's standpoint, now that they know her identity and purpose, shouldn't they kill her as soon as possible to protect history from being discovered? Wrong. Could it be that his purpose is actually the same as Crocodile? He also wants to get the power of Pluto. A white light seemed to suddenly flash in Robin's mind. The next moment, she looked at Link with an expression full of vigilance. In her eyes, Link has changed from a cold-hearted naval captain to an ambitious man no less than Crocodile. Your identity is not difficult to find, and your purpose is not difficult to guess. I am not interested in the position of Hades, so I can agree to your conditions. Link said with a smile. Upon hearing this, Robin immediately rolled his eyes at Link. Not interested in the location of Pluto. Crocodile also said that he does not bear grudge against Whitebeard. Can she believe this? Well, it seems she can only choose to believe it. Yes, my purpose is the historical text. Robin took a deep breath and said, So, Sir Link, what do you want me to do for you? Link showed an amiable smile. Actually, it's not a big deal, it's just that the number of agents in your Baroque working society is a bit too many and they are too secretive. I hope you can come forward and bring them together. I have a gift for them. Quote. Link's secret conversation with Robin in the room didn't last long. In the end, Robin agreed to Link's request. After the two parties reached a friendly agreement, Link personally sent a small boat to the other party to help him leave. Colonel Link, you just let her go like this. You shouldn't have made some dirty deal with her, right? Smoker smoked 3 large cigarettes and watched Robin, who had 8 arms rowing rapidly, gradually move away. He couldn't help but reveal a black look on his face. What kind of dirty deal? Be careful, I sue you for libel. I'm a clean and good Navy man. I don't smoke or drink. I exercise every day. Naturally, I do clean business. How about you think of a way to gather all the members of the Baroque Working Society hiding in Alabasta? Or do you want to see a civil war in Alabasta? Link rolled his eyes at Smoker and said, today's Alabasta is divided because Crocodile sent Mr. 2 to pretend to be the king and use dancing powder. Some of them are the king's army who are still loyal to the king, and some are rebels. And the members of the Baroque Working Society, both from the Royal Army and the Rebel Army, were mixed in. It's like after water enters the sea, there is no way to find it. Compared with killing these members of the Baroque Work Club, what is more difficult is to find their traces. Link now asks Robin to summon the members of the Baroque Working Society, also wanting to solve them all at once. At night, the edge of the Alabasta Sea. The Navy ship slowly docked. Link also once again had a conversation with Wei Wei and others at this moment, synchronizing the information of both parties. Even without Nami's illness, after hearing about the superb medical skills of the doctors from the Drum Country, the Straw Hats still visited the Drum Country and conquered Chopper. At the same time, after landing in Alabasta, Luffy and the others met Ace just like in the original work. Luffy naturally remembered Link's advice, so he told Ace what Link had said to him. So, you successfully convinced Ace? Link asked with a surprised look on his face. Brother Link, Ace is not the kind of person who listens to others' advice. I can't beat him, so I can only ask someone who can beat him to come and treat him. Luffy chuckled. I contacted Grandpa Garp through the phone number left by your phone bug and asked him to bring Ace back. What? Lieutenant General Garp is so free that he is willing to come over and take care of this. Link's expression became a little strange. I didn't expect that Luffy, a guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, would have such a scheming mind. But think about it, Wong Lufei in the early days has always been a wise and foolish person. It was only later that he became stronger and his muscles became bigger, and then he gradually became a hot-blooded idiot in the true sense. Therefore, men still cannot practice too much, otherwise their brains may not work well. Brother Link, this is mainly due to you. Grandpa Garp trusts your judgment. After I explained to Grandpa Garp that this was your request to me, Grandpa Garp said that Brother Link, you are insidious and cunning. If you say this, you must have a reason. Then he set off in person and captured Ace. Quote, Link. Although Luffy did a good job in this matter, and it did develop in the direction he expected, but the description of this sinister and cunning thing is a bit inappropriate. Normally, shouldn't it be described as resourceful? Is my image in their minds so bad? He is a kind Marine, and the reason why he asked Luffy to stop Ace was to prevent the subsequent incident on top from causing chaos in the entire world. It's definitely not for any reason. Link later wants to use the Straw Hat Pirates to add merit to himself. Forget it, as long as the mission is completed successfully, where are you planning to go now? Link, with a dark face, decided to give up on delving into the issue and turned around to ask Luffy about his next plan. As a result, Wei Wei answered the phone the next moment. Wei Wei, next, we will split into 2 groups. I will go and explain to my father that Crocodile is the mastermind behind Baroque Works. Luffy and the others wanted to defeat Crocodile directly. Quote, Link, then do they know where Crocodile is? Wei Wei was stunned when she heard this, and then said with some embarrassment, I don't know, but it should be near his territory, Yudi. Wei Wei knew that her and Luffy's plan was somewhat premature, but the conditions for knowing it were too few. Except for Crocodile, who was already on the bright side, she didn't know the whereabouts of the rest of the Baroque Working Society members, so she could only choose this method to save the national team. Link thought for a moment and said, "Your plan is not bad." Wei Wei's eyes lit up. "So, let's just execute it according to the original plan." Link shook his head. "No, what you have to do now is to join us, because I have successfully instigated the other party's vice president. When the time comes, she will cooperate with us to take the lead in gathering the members of the Baroque Working Society. Then we can catch them all in one fell swoop." Quote. What? Hearing Link's words, Wei Wei suddenly showed a look of shock. According to her previous undercover experience in the Baroque Working Group, Crocodile was not personally involved in all matters of the Baroque Working Group. It was the vice president named Miss Alsunday who arranged it. That also shows that Crocodile trusts Miss Alsunday very much. But now Colonel Link actually told her that he had successfully plotted against the vice president. That means that the success rate of their subsequent plans will increase several times. They, Alabasta, are finally saved. The next morning, it rained. Robin brought the information to Crocodile that Mr. 1 and Miss had their fingers killed by each other. At the same time, she also followed Link's request and extremely exaggerated Smoker's combat power. "Boss, our operation failed this time. Both fingers of Mr. 1 and Miss have been killed by that Smoker. The other party is also a nature-type fruit ability user like you, and it is said that he is also the top student in the Navy headquarters. At the beginning, the Navy was training him as the next top 3 future. It's a pity that due to his own character problems, he was sent to the East China Sea. In my estimation, this person's combat power may not be lower than your boss." Quote. After hearing Robin's words and analysis, Crocodile did not respond immediately. Instead, he cast his cold eyes on Robin. "Robin, if Smoker is so strong, why can you escape from him?" Crocodile's plain tone was full of invisible oppression. It was as if Robin didn't answer well, he would cut Robin into pieces the next second. Facing Crocodile's cold questioning, Robin not only did not feel scared, but instead squeezed out a few tears. "That's all because of the help of Mr. 1 and Miss. They resisted the Navy at the risk of their own death and bought me time, hoping that I would bring this news back to you." Quote. After a moment of silence, Crocodile nodded, agreeing with Robin's statement. Or maybe he vaguely felt something was wrong, but he didn't want to think about it. After all, if Robin really betrayed him, then his dream of Hades would be shattered. "Well, it seems that I still underestimated the Navy. I didn't expect that even Mr. 1 would be included." Crocodile rubbed his eyebrows. This series of events made him feel physically and mentally exhausted. "You must know that Mr. 1 is his favorite general who helped him do a lot of dirty work, but now he is lost to the Navy. And that group of Navy has probably arrived in Alabasta. There isn't much time left for him now, so he must act quickly. Otherwise Crocodile would feel that he might never have a chance to act again. Haha, although Mr. 1's operation failed. Fortunately, my operation went smoothly and I successfully captured the old guy Cobra from the palace. It's a pity that the old guy Cobra's bones are a bit too hard, and the torture team has been torturing him for most of the day. As a result, he was stunned and didn't speak. Okay, Robin, send an order to the senior agents of Baroque Works and ask them all to arrest Wei Wei together. Even if they encounter the Straw Hat Boys, they will kill them without mercy. I want to see if Wei Wei is tortured in front of that old guy, and whether that old guy will open his mouth to me. There are also those low-level agents of Baroque Works. You can arrange it yourself. Mobilize tonight, let them pretend to be the King's army and the rebel army tomorrow, and stir up civil strife as soon as possible. This will also prevent the Navy from coming to harass us." Quote. Crocodile said viciously. His original plan was to stir up war within the Kingdom of Alabasta through the operation of dancing fans, thereby subtly eliminating the majesty of the king. Then he himself ruled the Kingdom of Alabasta in the name of a great hero. In this way, not only can he maintain his title of King Shichibukai, secretly, he also has enough time to slowly search for Hades without worrying about being discovered by outsiders. But now his plan has been completely disrupted. The Black Gloves of the Straw Hat Pirates, a member of the Navy, contacted Princess Vivi to get the Navy involved. Nowadays, there is a high probability that his plan to steal the country will be basically impossible to carry out, and the Navy will definitely not ignore it. It would be impossible for Crocodile to say that he was not disappointed at all. But fortunately, their core demands have not been exposed, so he still has the possibility of success. As long as I get Pluto, I will have the power to rule the world. Even if I can't get Alabasta, I can still get other countries with the power of Pluto. Crocodile raised the flag confidently. The strong always dare to make judgments. His improvised plan was too hasty, and the success rate of this plan was not low. According to Crocodile, the success rate of both parts of the plan is over 90%. With the combined strength of all the senior agents, it would not be difficult to deal with a pirate group with only a few people from the East China Sea and to capture a helpless Wei Wei. As long as Wei Wei is captured, it won't be difficult to get that old cobra to reveal the location of the historical text. As for letting low-level agents provoke civil strife between the Royal Army and the rebels, that is extremely simple. The public sentiment across Alabasta is now no different than a powder keg. It only takes a little spark to completely detonate these powder barrels. Okay, boss, I'll do it right away. After learning the next plan from Crocodile, Robin respectfully withdrew and began to use the phone bug to contact all parties. Mr. 2, you need to follow your partner over to this side of the rainy land tomorrow morning. The boss has something to ask you. Elder Billions, please ask your agents to gather here tonight. I have something to tell you. Robin kept making phone calls, transmitting Crocodile's orders to the agents below. Seeing this, Crocodile also nodded slightly. He had actually been worried about whether Robin would betray him before, but when he thought that since the other party was the Navy, it would be too late for Robin to run away, let alone defect to the Navy. And now the other party is faithfully executing his orders, which also shows that Robin has not betrayed. However, what he didn't know was that there was a small phone bug stuffed in Robin's chest that was always on the phone. Everyone knows about Crocodile's plan. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yudi, an ordinary hotel. Link and others, who had already changed into local clothes, carefully looked at the information that had been compiled in front of them. Following Link's instructions, Robin had induced Crocodile to start taking action in advance. Crocodile's plan of action was divided into two parts. One is the operation to capture Wei Wei carried out by senior agents, and the other is the disruption plan carried out by low-level agents. Among them, the place where senior agents discussed the plan was the Yuyan Casino, their home base directly located in Crocodile. The mobilization place for the low-level agents was set up by Robin in an abandoned warehouse. In this regard, Smoker specially asked his Navy to conduct surveys in the two places, and asked them to plant bombs at the meeting point. As a naval officer, Smoker believed from beginning to end that the life of the Navy was more important than the lives of these conspirators. He hoped to capture this Baroque society without losing a single soldier. Among them, the abandoned warehouse where the low-level agents gathered was well arranged, and there was no obstacle to the bomb placement. But senior agents gathered at Yuyan, the most luxurious casino in the entire Alabasta region, and it was not a place you could just enter if you wanted to. Especially the inner area of Yuyan. So what else can we do? Since we can't get in anyway, we might as well just knock on the door. Smoker still had the same fierce expression. Colonel Smoker, what you said is wrong. The so-called battle is to use all means to win. The power of Link's bullets is not bad, and that guy Crocodile is a crispy mage who focuses on his own fruit ability. Even if the opponent reacts, there is a high probability that he will be injured if he uses elemental protection. Does Colonel Smoker want to fight the intact crocodile or the injured crocodile? Quote. After hearing Link's words of persuasion, Smoker coughed a few times and did not answer. But everyone present knew what Smoker meant. After all, no one likes to be completely tortured. But the problem now is that we have no way to enter Yuyan to plant bombs. Smoker snorted coldly and continued, even the outermost gambling area of Yuyan requires at least 10 million belly gambling funds to enter. Can you come up with this amount of money? Their navy is not short of money, at least not in his rogue town or Link's 153rd branch. But that doesn't mean they have that much money on them. Every time they carry out a mission, they will only carry a few million baileys with them at most, and they cannot even enter the outermost casino of Yuyan. Who said you have to have enough money to get in? Since ancient times, pornography, gambling, and drug abuse have always been indiscriminate. If a penniless but outstanding beauty wants to enter Yuyan, I think the security guards at Yuyan will not refuse. Link said calmly. No, I will never allow my subordinates to betray their lust. Before Link could finish what he said, Smoker said with a righteous look, whether it's Dusky or Nami, they are not strong enough. Letting them enter the rain banquet to lay out bombs is not sending sheep in. Wolf's mouth. If you want to go, let me go. You're right, Colonel Smoker. Link looked at Smoker with respect. In that case, I'll leave the infiltration work to you. Smoker. Huh, Colonel Link, even if Colonel Smoker wants to sneak in on our behalf, there is nothing he can do. After all, Captain Smoker is so mature. Dasky on the side looked at Smoker up and down and then said. She couldn't see traces of women on Smoker's body. If you force disguise, you can only get an image similar to a muscular girl, which is far from the required image of a beautiful woman. You don't have to worry about that, I'll find a way. Link's face was full of smile. I just don't know if what Colonel Smoker just said is serious. HMPH, of course I take it seriously. I, Smoker, never tell lies. Although he was quite repulsed by disguising himself as a woman and sneaking into the rain banquet, Smoker still insisted on his statement. In his opinion, Link probably had some makeup tricks to disguise him as a woman. But Smoker is very confident in his own foundation, and his appearance is too masculine. No matter how much makeup you put on, it will definitely not meet the standards of the mission, so naturally there is no need to perform the mission. Colonel Smoker, you said this yourself, so don't blame me for taking action. Hearing Link's extremely gentle tone, Smoker's pupils suddenly shrank and his body trembled. Whenever this hateful Link wanted to trick him, he would speak in this tone. Colonel Smoker, I actually possess a kind of magic that can turn you into a woman and help you sneak into the rain feast. You are the most powerful among us, and only you can enter the rain feast and keep yourself safe. Quote. Link said with great solemnity. What, you can also turn me into a woman? Is there really evil ability in the world? Hearing this, Smoker suddenly had goosebumps all over his body. He couldn't imagine what it would be like to become a woman. Well, I have to say that there is. Although the magical ability he is talking about is actually the transformation magic corresponding to the Link Monkey charm in Qianlong's adventure and does not belong to this world, it does not mean that there are no ways to turn men into women in the pirate world. At least Link knew that there were two. One was the hormone fruit of the demon king Ivankov, and the other was that Blackbeard's men had mastered the poison of the disease fruit. In that case, Colonel Smoker, let us begin. Link looked at Smoker with admiration. And Dasky and other women also cast grateful glances at Smoker. Colonel Smoker actually sacrificed his life and turned into a woman in order to protect his men. This is simply great. Okay. Feeling the grateful gazes of the women present, Smoker could only swallow back the rejection he was about to say. Then he followed Link's request and lay down on the bed. Wait a minute, Link, your magic shouldn't have any side effects, right? Smoker asked nervously while lying on the bed. This was the first time he had accepted so-called magic, and he felt like a mouse who knew he would be used as a test subject later. Colonel Smoker, you don't have to believe in my character, but you must believe in my magic level. I have used this magic countless times, and there has never been a mistake, so you can rest assured. Link wanted to speak so confidently. This is the magic mastered by their good brother Qianlong and Link, and there is absolutely no room for questioning. Of course, Link was actually murmuring in his heart. After all, in the pirate world, the ability of magic will be suppressed to a certain extent. In the world of Qianlong's adventures, there will definitely be no problem with this transformation magic. But in the world of One Piece, even Link himself doesn't know whether this magic can be as successful as in the world of Qianlong's adventures. Anyway, you'll know after you try it. Link's eyes were a little wandering. Seeing Link's reaction like this, Smoker suddenly felt an ominous premonition. If you don't succeed, I will definitely make you pay the price. Smoker glared at Link fiercely, then closed his eyes as if accepting his fate. Just relax, Link comforted. A shadow of a monkey flashed across his eyes. A gentle light emitted from his palm and slowly covered Smoker's body. The next moment, Smoker's figure began to change. His hair began to grow longer, his waist began to become thinner, and his chest began to become more exaggerated. In just 5 minutes, Smoker had turned into a white-haired beauty. Have I really become a woman? Smoker slowly sat up and looked at himself in the mirror in disbelief. At the same time, not only his appearance, but also his voice had changed into a female voice. Colonel Smoker, you look so beautiful now. Dasky on the side looked at Smoker with some envy. His lustrous silver hair was so eye-catching. I have to thank you for the compliment. Smoker's face darkened. Originally, his subordinates would feel scared when they saw his appearance. But with his current face, his subordinates not only did not feel scared, but their eyes lit up, looking very excited. Okay, Smoker, in my impression, you are not such a fussy person. You'd better complete the task as soon as possible. This magic has a time limit. Link said as he patted Smoker on the shoulder. After hearing this, Smoker glared at Link fiercely again. But what he had to admit was that now he did have the opportunity to enter the rain feast and plant a bomb, and then give Crocodile a fatal blow. I understand, go right away. Smoker said coldly. After changing into cool clothes at the hotel, he went to the rain banquet and did not return until night. Perhaps because his appearance after transformation was really outstanding, Yuyan's security did not stop him in any way. As a result, Smoker was able to plant bombs everywhere in Yuyan without any hindrance. These planted bombs are special small bombs studied by Link. Although it is small in size, its explosive power is not low at all. Even if Crocodile detects the explosion immediately, he can still be injured. At the same time, the message Robin sent him also stated in advance that they would temporarily clear the rain banquet when hosting a gathering of senior agents. Now they don't need to worry about the bombs harming civilians in Alabasta. Next, all they need to do is wait for the arrival of the group of senior agents, and then throw a little spark into it. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.